Hello, everybody, and welcome to what is our second best of tier list, this time for the original Xbox. Today we have with us Retroyder
Hello, everyone.
and Retroslice Gaming.
Hello.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Good. Before we get started, before we get into the rules, the sort of not build up, but backstory, I guess, for want of a better word, of what we're doing. I believe that there is a quick community update that you want to give.
Not so much a community update. Just
Okay.
wanted to again touch base with everybody and anybody that listens. Big thank you to everybody that took part through C64 November, Amiga December, 12 days of Xbox. It was really appreciated. There's some amazing content got out there, I think, on the page and through Discord as well. And it was really good to see everybody get involved. And for people who are just tuning in, because I think we do, looking at the numbers on the releases that we're getting, I think quite a few people that listen, have no idea who we are or what we do. So we're Retroslice Gaming and Discord community, but we do have an Instagram page as well. And straight back to you, Chris, because this is your podcast, the 12 Days of Xbox.
This is
Related
tangentially related to 12 Days of Xbox. And I'd just like to echo the thanks there for anyone who took part. We got some great contributions from a lot of people over the run up to Christmas. With people posting their favorite Xbox games and Xbox memories. It was really good to see, and thank you for everybody who got involved. What we are doing tonight is much like the PlayStation 1 tier list that we did a few months ago. I asked the Retroslice community for the submissions of their top 5 Xbox games, original Xbox games. We have the submissions on screen now, and what we are going to be doing is, between the three of us, discussing each submission and deciding where it fits on the list, with the ultimate goal of determining which is the official Retroslice community best original Xbox game of all time. As before, as we had last time, there are a few little rules. Well, one major rule, which is if we can't decide, if we are at a stalemate and can't decide where a game goes, I have the Metacritic scores, and whichever game has the better Metacritic score will go above. So as an example, we'll just use the first 2 games on the list as an example: Blinks the Time Sweeper and Crimson Skies. If we can't decide which of those 2 is better, if, say, Blinks has a Metacritic score of 80, but Crimson Skies has a Metacritic score of 82, then Crimson Skies would win and go above that game. Does that sound fair to you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Cool. All right. With that being said, are we happy to get into it and start ranking these games?
Let's go.
All right. So as mentioned, the first game is Blinks the Time Sweeper. Now,
I like
you like this one, do you?
I recently picked it up, actually. A few reviews online and watched some YouTube footage, and it just intrigued me. Seems a bit different than most games of the same type of genre. So I did pick it up recently. I'm yet to thoroughly go through it, but I have started it off, and to be honest with you, I'm enjoying it. But it is a little bit different. I know it's probably not going to be as popular with you two.
Well, so I hadn't played this before a couple of days ago. It's backwards compatible on the Series X, and it's in Game Pass. So I downloaded it and gave it a go. And my immediate impressions were that it is seriously budget. Mostly from the UI, I think, I'll admit. Like, the in-game prompts and tutorial hints look like they were just thrown together in MS Paint.
This is why I like it. It's just so.
It's
so
I will admit I could not put much time into this because I just bounced off it really, really badly.
grated on you, right?
Yeah. It. All right. I'm gonna make a comparison here, but only not necessarily. It's not necessarily a fair comparison because I think it's a better game than what I'm about to compare it to. But I got some strong Bubsy 3D vibes from this one.
Whoa. that's heavy.
Now, it's not in the same. Well, yeah, not in the same league as Bubsy 3D is probably not the right way to say this, but it's definitely a better game. But
saying this is like Bubsy is worse than say this is a bad game.
Yeah. Well, I could not put this any higher than a B tier for me personally.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what attracts me to this game. I just kind of like it. I like its vibe, but it isn't the best game by any means. And I definitely loved what you said about like the actual tutorials. I was literally looking at that and I was thinking, what am I supposed to read this? Is this something for the character? What?
Yeah.
So anyway, there's something about it, but no, definitely not A tier by any means.
No, I really can't comment too much on the gameplay because I just didn't get far enough in.
Yeah. I'm early stages as well. Have you played this one, Ryder?
No, but I read something and it seems like it's a frustrated attempt to Xbox having a mascot.
Yeah, that's
and that's it. That's it. That's it about this game.
That's what it feels like. It feels to me like an attempt to have a Mario or Crash Bandicoot or Spyro or Sonic equivalent on the Xbox, and I think it failed. Given that we haven't seen a Blinks game outside of the original Xbox, I think that's probably fair to say that it did not succeed in becoming the platforming game mascot.
No.
And I think it got a sequel, right?
It did get a sequel.
Yeah.
What was the sequel called?
Blinks 2.
Literally Blinks 2. No, did it even include Time Sweeper there?
Let me find out.
I've definitely not. I've not played the second one.
Blinks 2.
They could try to do it like this. Yeah.
It's called Blinks 2 Masters of Time and Space.
Okay. I think I have heard that.
Like they want to travel back to time and to fix the first game, right? Maybe that's the story. maybe. Oh, a parallel universe where Blinks is more successful than Mario, and Crash.
It got worse scores than the first game, so.
I need to play now. I love bad games. I need to play this.
You should try it.
So interesting. So I'm looking on the Wikipedia page for Blinks 2 right now, and this I think this says it all. Reviewers noted that despite the game being titled Blinks 2 and being featured on the box art cover, Blinks himself was only featured on the cover art and in a few cutscenes. Custom characters modified through the in-game character creator were playable instead. So you don't even play as the title character in the sequel to Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Marvelous.
Yes. So
I think they learned the lesson. Right?
Yeah,
or not.
It's like Sonic 2 without Sonic.
Yeah. Like, they abandoned Blinks as a character and a mascot attempt so hard that he barely appears in his own sequel.
Probably they copycat the Metal Gear Solid 2, where they advertise Snake, but you play as Raiden.
Yeah, but Metal Gear Solid 2 had the benefit of being an actual good game.
Yeah.
So, there is that. So,
B then.
yeah, B. We start in smack bang in the middle with a B. Right
B
there.
minus.
B. Yeah, well, it's the top and bottom of B right now. It is so far the best and worst game we have ranked at the moment. Next up, one of my personal favourites, Crimson Skies: High Road to Revenge. Did either of you two play this?
No.
Okay. So Crimson Skies is a sort of action-adventure game. Think of it a bit like... it feels a bit like Indiana Jones, and it's like team... sort of as an adventure kind of game, mixed a little bit with Uncharted, but it doesn't play like that at all. It is an aerial combat game set in an alternate 1930s with, like, it's the golden age of aircraft and air travel. You got zeppelins and big airships and sky piracy, and you play as a character. I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but he is very much a sort of Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake style swashbuckling hero character, a bit of a rogue, a bit mischievous, and he's the leader of a pirate gang, and you are you have to the aim of the game is basically you're going after a rival pirate gang and getting revenge for the murder of your friend and mentor. It's a really, really good, fun sort of swashbuckling adventure game.
That does get my interest, actually. Why haven't I checked this out previously?
And it's the multiplayer was excellent. I spent a lot of time playing that online on Xbox Live. I put a lot of time into the campaign. It's a really, really good game.
How would you say it holds up graphically? Because I mean,
graphically,
games
sorry, go on.
I like games that sort of really do properly represent that vibe that they're supposed to be in. Like, obviously, for Red Dead 2, it's the Wild West. You know, for that, you sound like it's really describing the 1930s and sort of with the Zeppelins.
Graphically,
like that. So how does it represent that?
Graphically, it holds up. Especially so again. So this is in the backwards compatibility program on Xbox One and Xbox Series, so you can play it on those consoles. And what the beauty of playing those games backwards compatible is they are natively rendered in 1080p or 4K, depending on what your console can support. So it's not like upscaled 4K. It's everything is sharp, looks beautiful, nice smooth lines on all of the textures and everything. Obviously, the textures are still low resolution textures because that's what they were 20 years ago on the original Xbox. But it looks great. It plays really well on that. That's probably the best way to play it right now. But if you want to get the true, authentic vibe, then yeah, pick it up on the original Xbox and give it a play. Let me just have a look on eBay.
How much it is?
Yeah, I was just looking at Wikipedia, and this is one of those games that were released for the PC, and the Xbox got the license somehow.
So,
and they launched it for Xbox, right?
That's sort of true. It's so the first game was released on PC. The first game was a PC exclusive, and it was just called Crimson Skies. Yeah. This is not the same game as was released on PC. It is a sequel, or set in the same universe on Xbox, and it was only released on Xbox.
Yeah, and this sort of template is not. It's not the first time I see this. NFL Fever. 2000, 2001, 2002. NFL Fever 2002 as well, as a launch Xbox title. It's a sequel to a PC game called NFL Fever.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, this kind of thing, they probably got some good, interesting PC titles, right? Let's just do a sequel to Xbox. This is one more example of that. That's interesting. Yeah.
So I'm just looking on eBay at the moment for prices. Prices range from like £5 complete
Yeah.
to £10 for very good condition, £20 for near mint. One of the auctions, however, has the Project Gotham Racing 2 disc in the case on the pictures, which is a little concerning. But so for the sake of a fiver or a tenner, I would really strongly recommend picking this up. I think this is. It might not. I don't expect it to win. I don't expect it to come anywhere near close to top, but it's an S for me.
Okay, that's good. I can say this. I can find it cheaper in Brazil. Not. I cannot say as this for Blinks. Blinks. Here in Brazil, they are not selling it cheap. But yeah, probably I'm gonna grab this in the future.
I really
Uh,
recommend you do. I think it's a fun game. And if you do, and this is not me trying to organize Insignia game sessions again, but the multiplayer is active and working on Insignia.
nice.
I do really need to look at that actually. When it's just finding the time at the moment, but I know you've put that guide there in the Discord, so I am definitely going to look at that and try and at least somehow set it all up. So I know I need a LAN connection, which is the problem. So that's something I've got to work around. But at least I could maybe do all the setup and have it ready, and then it's just a case of connecting it up, right?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I'll definitely look at that game as well.
I strongly recommend it. Are there any objections to me putting this as our first S tier game?
No.
No?
That's good.
No, you described it very good. I'm quite impressed with what you've said. So
Okay.
I'll have to look at it then.
It currently takes the top spot. It won't stay there, but I'm happy with it being an S tier. The next game. The next game is a questionable one, and I don't know who submitted this, but I have questions for them. The game
Not me.
is
Not me.
Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Wasn't me.
Now, if this was by all accounts, it's actually a very competent volleyball game.
I think this deserves maybe a S tier because of the bouncing technology they applied.
I can't agree with that. I think it's gratuitous. It's.
I mean, the volleyball. Come on, I mentioned the volleyball. What do you think about bouncing when I said bouncing?
I mean, volleyballs, yes, of course.
I have. I'm sorry. I maybe have the first one on my Xbox, but it was already installed when I bought it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
like it's a like very casual game in terms of access. No, in terms of easy to play, right?
Right.
It's not complicated. The learning curve. I mean, it's a very easy game to play, and I think that becomes fun. Besides the the bouncing technology there. I mean, yeah. I think it's a fun game. I didn't play this version specific, but
Yeah, I
I'm just
never
gonna say that this maybe probably gonna be on B or C. I'm not sure.
I never played this. Mostly because I'm not interested in volleyball, and I was not a fan of the Dead or Alive fighting game series, so there was no overlap for me with this. I am just aware of its reputation.
Same.
Maybe we should go for the score.
So
Suggestion.
the Metacritic score Before I do that, how do we want to do it? So my suggestion would be, if we can't agree on a tier, S is 90 and above, A 80 and above, B 70 and above, C 60 and above, and so on and so forth. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think no one played. I think no one played this game, right? This
No
is the
one-
exact game. So
No one.
maybe
Yeah.
if we are in the situation, maybe we should go for the scores, just like you said.
Okay. So the score for Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball on Metacritic was 73.
Yeah, I think that's what I just said.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay, it's something very easy and fun. It becomes fun because it's easy. There's not much learning curve into that. I think there is, but it's not necessary probably for you to have fun. That's why it got like the score probably.
Yeah. So a 73 would put it in B. Do we think it's better than Blinks the Time Sweeper?
No. Maybe you want to check the score for Blinks?
I have the score for Blinks right here. 71.
Oh wow, okay. So really the answer is yes then.
I mean, I think purely on the basis that, by all accounts, like I say, from what I've heard, it is a competent volleyball game.
So you like volleyball, you thought it.
And that's it, right? That's it.
Despite everything else, it is supposed to be a competent game.
I'm curious who voted. I'm curious who voted for this. Please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you voted for this one, and why you think it should be in the top. I'm really interested to hear what people's opinions are, because these games, when I asked for the nominations, I just asked for the names, didn't ask for reasons, and it's all anonymous. I didn't track anybody's identity or email addresses. I could have asked for email addresses when they when people submitted their games, but I didn't, because I don't want to track people's information. That's as simple as that. It's privacy reasons.
Sure.
But I would be interested to know, and that goes for any of the games that we talk about. Like, tell us why they were nominated, and what you think.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Maybe if this was like A score or F score, I mean Metacritic score, right? If this got 80 or 90, that should be on the other tiers, right? But since it should be on the same tier as Blinks, and we got Chris here who loved this game. In my opinion, personally, I don't think we should put above Blinks. We should not put above Blinks. We should put below, because
I think that's.
Chris enjoyed this game.
I think that's fair. I think that's.
I realise it's terrible, but I did enjoy it.
And that is more than what any of us can say about Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Okay.
So I think that's fair. I think because at least
There's
one
not
of
much
us.
between, really, is there?
No. So B tier after Blinks.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Cool. Next up, Doom 3.
Xbox version.
Yes. Now, I don't think we should take the PC version into consideration here, because the PC version and Xbox version, while they are the same game, there are differences. The Xbox version does not run as well as the PC version does, obviously, but the fact that it is on Xbox at all is seriously impressive.
Yes.
I first experienced Doom 3 properly on Xbox. I did play it on PC, but my PC at the time was not quite powerful enough to run it and give it the experience that it deserved. So I played it on Xbox, which again was not quite powerful enough to give it the experience it deserved, but it was at least more consistent than my PC version. I really like this game. I know a lot of people think that it's a departure from the Doom series because it is. It's not as fast paced as Doom or Doom 2. It's much more tense. It's much more atmospheric. It's a bit more of a horror game. And the Xbox version certainly is more of a horror game than the PC version because there are bits that were added in the Xbox game, the Xbox version, to make it scarier that weren't in the PC version.
I'm not sure if I have this on Xbox. I think I have it on original Xbox.
I know you picked up the expansion, Resurrection of Evil, recently.
Was that original Xbox?
That was original Xbox.
That's what I'm thinking.
So both this and the expansion came out on original Xbox. The expansion was a separate release on Xbox, obviously, instead of an expansion for the PC version.
I knew I had something Doom on Xbox. I think I've got another one on it later, either 360 or possibly Xbox One.
So there was the Doom 3 BFG edition on 360 and PS3, and then that got ported up again to Xbox One, PS4, and Switch.
Yeah, I'll have. It'll be one of them. I'll have as well. I mean, obviously, Doom for me, goes right back to MS-DOS and the older days. So very, very good memories of it. But this particular one, I haven't had a chance to explore even the expansion yet, let alone the actual game. But I know the difference in opinion on it for sure.
I didn't play the Xbox version. I play only the PC, and I think this game was launched in 2004.
Yes.
When I bought the first huge, a nice new rigged PC, it got. I didn't have much expertise back in the day about GPUs. I got, the seller just, sold me a GeForce 5200, but this game was launched. I mean, this game for PC was a giveaway for the GTX 680. Yeah, 6880, right? So it was the new line, the new GTX line for GeForce, I think. So my PC struggled as well to run, but I had fun, playing like a low downgrade version of graphic speaking. But I cannot say much about the Xbox version because I didn't play. I know people criticize the fact that you use the flashlight. You have to constantly use the flashlight, right?
Yes.
Because of the dark corridors. I thought that was pretty fun. And shaders
agree.
and stuff. The technology was really great. I didn't find boring or stuff. I think this was great.
Yeah, that was
the horror stuff.
You're right. One of the complaints about Doom 3 was that you couldn't have your flashlight and your weapon out at the same time. So you could either see what you were shooting at or shoot at what you were shooting at.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped build the tension in the game.
Yes.
But it was fixed for the BFG edition. So when that came out, you could have your flashlight and your weapon out at the same time.
Yeah.
I would find that better.
And the thing you said about the design of the game, you guys are aware of the boom shooter, right?
Boomer shooters,
Is that
yes.
Yeah.
boomer? Yeah. So Doom 3 is not a boom shooter,
No,
right?
no.
It's a more tactical, stuff, and you really have to, have the flashlight stuff. You
Yeah.
had the dark, and you had
It's
the challenge. It was not a boomer shooter anymore.
yeah.
But I love this game. I love the expansion. I love it. But I didn't play for Xbox, so I really can't say. Maybe just you, Chris, can say something about it.
I
I'm not sure on this term as well, but boomer shooter, kind of makes me feel old.
I mean, it's not boomer as in the age demographic. It's boomer
Yeah.
because you run around and blow things up. And
Yeah.
it's very, very hectic. So good examples of boomer shooters would be the first two Doom games, Quake. And there's been a bit of a resurgence in these recently. Like I don't know if any of you have played it. Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun is a retro themed first person shooter that's very good. And is also a boomer shooter.
Yeah.
So it's more about the style, like the fast paced combat action, than anything else. And I really like those kinds of games because those are the kinds of games I grew up playing.
Yeah, thank you. You just made me feel slightly younger there.
That's okay. I think Doom 3 is an S tier game. I don't think it's better than Crimson Skies.
Okay, that's fine. I love this game as well.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yep. Cool. That goes up there. Alright, the first game that I think could dethrone Crimson Skies. Fable.
Legendary.
Yeah.
It is. Now, I came into Fable with the benefit of not having paid attention to any of the pre-release marketing. So, I wasn't aware when I bought and played Fable that Peter Molyneux had gone on stage a few years during its development and said, oh yeah, you can do all sorts of things, like you can plant an acorn and then come back throughout the rest of the game and watch it grow into an oak tree, which is, something that you couldn't do because it was ridiculously ambitious even. So I wasn't aware of the hype. All I knew was that a lot of people were talking about it. It was supposed to be quite good, so I picked it up, played it without having read any of that stuff, and really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is a very fun action RPG. I enjoy the sort of the feel of it. It's like if someone asked me to pick a game that felt British, I would pick this one.
Yeah.
One thing that I did take slight have an issue with was all of the bandits had northern accents. All of the bad guys were northerners, and as a northerner, that was like, really? They're all
Not sure if this is Peter Molyneux's responsibility as well, right?
well, maybe.
Fault.
Maybe. All of they were all either like Scouse or Scottish or
I find that offensive.
yeah. But I really liked this game. I liked its sequel, although I think it lost a little bit of its charm when it moved to a bit more of an industrialized age. I liked the fantasy setting, the sort of the medieval-ish fantasy setting that the first game had. I have a lot of fun memories of this game. I think it's really good, and for me, I think it dethrones Crimson Skies.
Yeah, definitely.
No arguments. Long time since I've looked at it. Long time. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I think I did try the second one, but it's hard to remember. But I don't think I enjoyed it as much. But literally, like, I couldn't add much to what you said. What you said about the bandits and whatnot. I couldn't really add much to that, to be honest.
Cool.
Yeah, and Peter, just there's no comparison of what he did. He topped himself when he promoted Milo, on
Yeah.
Connect.
Yeah.
That was his top false advertising ever.
The thing
really outstanded himself.
Yeah. The thing with Peter Molyneux, right, is for me, he's just overly enthusiastic. Like, he genuinely wants to do all of these things that he says that he's going to try and do. But just gets a bit ahead of himself. And like, oh yeah, we want to do this thing, but the technology isn't quite there. And Milo is a perfect example of that for Connect. Like, it would have been cool, but the technology just wasn't there.
If you watch or read documentaries about Hideo Kojima and what he expects of Metal Gear, it's almost a complete different game that we got. But he says a lot of things how he wanted to do it on these games, but he says he says this kind of thing after the game is released, not promoting it.
Yeah, maybe
right?
say it
keep for yourself.
Yeah, say it internally to your team. Like, can we do this?
Yeah.
This would be cool, and then someone has to say, actually, we can't do that. It's a nice idea.
Like behind the scenes, like a behind the scenes documentary. You can do this. You can say these things, but not while you're promoting the game. And I played Fable first time on PC, and I had so much fun. I never laughed so hard on the game. I love being evil, being cruel, being a bad guy, and
yes,
making
but what about in the game?
Suffers. Yeah. There are consequences in real life, but in the game, you manage the consequences better. I mean, so it's really fun, especially the first part where you're growing up. It's a really fun game, and if you have a game that have consequences, really consequences on the gameplay, right? And this is a no-brainer for me. So it's a really fantastic how your consequences change the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And change your character and change the progression, the ending, your powers. There's the conviction there, not conviction. If you're a bad, you have a level of bad and good deeds and stuff. And really, these games like Mass Effect stuff, all these games that nail this kind of technology are really usually great games, right? So this is one of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mass Effect, which is one of my favorite games of all time, I think in terms of its morality system, owes quite a lot. Well, maybe not, because there is another game on this list that has a morality system. 2 games, in fact, I think. So whether it owes it, as Fable certainly led the way.
Yeah.
So, again, if there are no objections, I'm putting this straight to the top of S tier.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. All right, up next, Forza Motorsport.
My personal favorite.
So, okay, go on then. Tell us why.
Yeah, just like I said on my post, this game actually surprised me twice. first I play on the backwards compatibility on 360, but I'm playing on the on my 4K TV, so I'm not sure if that's really it may kind of stretch stuff things up. I'm not sure if it was really a proper connected the connections, the output display. I mean, the graphics is not that much impressive on the 360, but the gameplay. I love it, the gameplay of this game. I mean, how easy is to play this game, to progress, and you can go full arcade, if you set up correctly, or you can go full simulation, and there are plenty of options if you like. You can upgrade your car and buy new cars, but it's really made in a very good progression. It's really well made, and I really have fun. I'm still playing it. It's a very long game if you want to play every single track and win. Also, you have an option as an AI racing. You can build an AI and race for you. You have the online as well, but I didn't play it because I didn't have Xbox back in the day. But I think the second time I got impressed was playing on my CRTV. And if you check the back cover, it says, one of the key features, right? Xbox has this, the features in the back cover in green, highlighted in green, right? It says 48p, and it's really impressive. The graphics on my CRT TV. It's a really small screen, but wow, the game just shines. The shadows, the lightning shadow effects. It's amazingly impressive, and I recommend, if you have a CRTV, or if you have the proper way to connect Xbox to have the best display output. This is probably the best graphic game for Xbox, and it's not it's then I understood why the 48p is highlighted there, because it really makes the difference. So that's it. But of course, this had have a this didn't have the same impact as Fable for me.
Okay.
So I think the scores would be like, I'm not sure if the scores should be like 80 or 90.
We'll get to the scores. Because I don't want it to influence where we
Okay.
think it should go first.
Okay.
So if you were to place it on the list now, where would you put it?
Personally, I'll put S, but I need to check the score. But probably, I didn't play Crimson Sky, but I'm happy to put, after Crimson Sky.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So I've not played this one, which is possibly controversial. I'm aware of the impact that the series has had. We're still getting Forza Motorsport games on Xbox now, 20 years later. The thing that put me off this game, and it's interesting you've just mentioned it, is I was under the impression that it was a Gran Turismo style hardcore simulation game.
Yeah.
Which I don't gel with. Like I enjoy I'm a big fan of Forza Horizon, because they're more arcadey, less simulation. They're really good. But the fact that you said you could tune this to be an arcadey style racing game has
Yeah.
reignited my interest in it a little bit.
And one thing, to be honest, it's not. I'm not sure if that's a really well designed aspect of the game, but in the early game, in the early races, if you manage to earn money, you really can buy a really good, very good car that would be much more fast. No, I mean, you can buy a car, really a cheap one, but you can upgrade. Like, everyone is like D tier, D, but you can upgrade your car to S tier. That's, like, you have D, then you have C, B, A, and S. You can you can play the races where everyone is like D, uh, level, and you can play as a S tier or A tier car. So your car is vastly superior, and that it like kills the simulation thing. It becomes much more arcade, But anyway, I think that is fun.
That's really
I
interesting,
I
actually.
love playing this. Yeah. Um,
I might actually look into picking this up now then, because being able to play it like a more arcadey style racing game.
yeah, you have the options there, that help you with the brakes, the ABS, the I don't remember the name now, but the tuning. I think the tires. I don't remember the technical name but you have several options that you can
Yeah.
enable. Then it becomes just a arcade game like Need for Speed. Don't have Nitro, but other than that, you can still have fun. It's a really and the graphics are so amazing because I'm really into play the games chronologically. No, by the time they launched. So before I dive into Forzas, I never play any Forza. I really want to play the first one. I like that. Just like Crimson Skies, probably I'm gonna play the first one on PC before I play the Xbox. I really like to, play it chronologically and experience how the game, the evolution of the game, how the game progressed.
The same
That's
with
why I play.
You're doing the same with Red Dead Redemption, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they have for this game to have the lore as well, the story. So yeah, that's a very you know important fact for playing chronological. But I like just like Final Fantasy. You don't need to play chronological for the story, but it's interesting to see how the game, the evolution of the game
Yeah.
progressed. So they tried stuff, Final Fantasy II. They use a mechanic that they never ever used again because it failed. It was a failure. I think the sales stuff. Nobody likes the how they did, so they never did. But it's so interesting to play and experience what they tried. So yeah, I love this, and but it takes a long time. It took me a long time to finish this game. It's a really long game.
From my side, again, pretty similar to you, Chris. I've not played this one, but I have played other Forzas. Certainly know its impact. Like you said, it's still a successful series for Xbox. How many years down the line? My Xbox One, Xbox One S came with Forza 4 Motorsport that was built into it, or I could access the download with the code. So I have played that one. I do very much like that one actually. And there was another one released after that, which I can't think of the name of. The more modern version on Xbox One. I played that one as well. Some good fun with that. This one I didn't know about the arcade element, but I haven't also played it on original Xbox.
Cool. I think anything other than S tier would be a disservice.
Mm.
I am happy, more than happy, to go with the initial suggestion of after Crimson Skies.
Okay.
If
Okay.
if uh, we're all in agreement on that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it should go higher, then by all means, say so.
No, I completely understand your passion about the Crimson Sky and the Forza thing. It's very recently. I don't have any fond memories about it. You know, nostalgic stuff. So it's completely fine.
Fair enough. All right. Well, there it is. Currently the third best game. Although I suspect it's about to be everything is about to be dethroned by the next two. Which
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm going to change up the order slightly. Or should I? Should we do Halo 1, then Halo 2? Or Halo 2, then Halo? Because it's imported all of these in alphabetical order. So, Halo.
Number 1.
Alright, Halo.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
The green Mario.
Yeah.
Like Luigi.
Yeah. I don't...
I think if there was ever going to be an Xbox mascot, it would have to be Halo, right?
It's... Well, Master Chief. Master Chief. Halo is not the name of the character.
I know. I mean,
like Zelda.
Okay, Master Chief then. But
Yeah.
I mean, regards
Well,
to the first game that you think of.
Yes.
As soon as somebody says to me Xbox, the first game I think of is Halo.
Yes, exactly.
Green.
I really don't think there is too much that we can say about Halo that hasn't already been said.
Many times.
Yeah. I just wish I played this back in the day when launched.
Oh,
That's the only thing I want to say about this.
So
because everything else is very obvious. So I wish I played this on launch. I wish I had an Xbox on launch. I wish I played this online. I mean, I imagine how much fun.
Well, Halo 1 didn't have online.
Or just LAN, right? But it has LAN, right?
It had the system link.
And people had a lot of fun on this.
Oh
as well.
Yeah. So I bought my Xbox in 2004, so I didn't get it on launch. I got it in 2004. It was the first opportunity I got to get it. I think it was 2004. And it came with Halo and Deus Ex Invisible War. And I was a big fan of Deus Ex. I loved the first game, so I was really excited to sit and play the second one. But the first game I played was Halo. And I only had 2 games for several months. But I didn't play Deus Ex Invisible War for several months. Because I just played through Halo. And then I'd finish it, and then I'd play through Halo again. And then again, and again. I think in the first 2 to 3 weeks of owning an Xbox, I completed Halo about 6 times.
Wow.
Yes.
I can't speak highly enough about this game. The single player, the campaign was excellent. The multiplayer was, and this is gonna cause some controversial comments. The multiplayer is better than GoldenEye. I know a lot of people,
understand.
and myself included. I loved GoldenEye multiplayer, but Halo was something else.
And I think this was, before Battlefield, right?
Battlefield.
Let me see.
So Battlefield 1942.
Yeah, Battlefield is 2002.
Yeah.
So, probably there are other PC games that you play, before Battlefield, before Halo, like Arena and stuff.
Yeah, Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, games like that.
I mean, but I mean, using vehicles.
Oh,
vehicles,
right, yeah.
Vehicle combat on a sandbox, right, style. So it's really like a war zone, not just deathmatch. You have you have ships, right? You can fly ships and you can use vehicle.
Yeah.
So probably it's one of the most pioneer on this genre. I mean, on the console, especially on the console, I think it's probably the first to do on a video game console, not PC.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that Halo did that we are still we're still feeling the effects of now. It's one of the first games that used the left stick for movement and strafing, like the WASD keys on a keyboard, and the right stick for look. There's one other game that I can think of that did that, and that was Alien Resurrection on the PS1. But Halo really popularized it, so we're still using variants on that control scheme now. And the other is moving away from being able to carry a dozen weapons like you could in Half-Life and Doom and Quake, to only two. And Halo limited you to two weapons, which a lot of games do now. In fact, most shooters, unless they are like specifically retro themed, limit you to two weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only modern example I can think of, and I'm probably wrong, there's probably more, but the only actual modern game and or games that do that, don't do that rather, are Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, which still very much feel like retro styled shooters for a modern era.
I mean, sort of like any game you think about it. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, right? Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, how many weapons can you carry in that? You can only carry a handgun, right? Or can you carry a handgun and a rifle on your back? I can't remember. Red Dead 2, certainly it's that. You can carry a one hand weapon, one rifle on your back, or possibly a rifle and a shotgun. I'm not sure. I think you can grab obviously more weapons
The
off your
GTA
horse.
you have actually
You
have a
can,
wheel. On the
yeah, same
GTA
as
you
Red
have
Dead 2.
actually a wheel. You know?
Yeah, same as Red Dead 2, but you can only carry a certain amount with you, can't you? When you're walking, say if you're walking to a mission or something.
No, you can pretty much use the wheel anytime.
No, you can't in Red Dead though. That's what I'm saying. In Red Dead Redemption, you have to select what weapon you want to get off your horse. If you don't grab it off your horse before you go to the mission, like extra weapons, like certain rifles and stuff like that, then you can't select it because it's on your horse.
The first one's not like that. It
No.
just have the wheel.
The second one is very different to the first one. Definitely, you'll get to that.
Okay.
You'll get to points in number 2 where it will say, "Don't forget to get this certain weapon off your horse because it's not going to be available in your wheel after. You'll get one choice of one rifle and one pistol or whatever, or a couple
Okay.
of pistols." Yeah, anyway, we digress. We don't need to go into a Red Dead 2 conversation. But I just highlighted the same. That is what it's like with the maneuverability and the selection of
Okay.
weapons. Certainly not just in shooters, but in open world games as well.
Yeah, I would say Halo. If they didn't innovate, they made it fun. Everything
Yeah.
in the game is so well designed and for the console.
Yes.
And that's what I love.
Yeah.
If you see most of the AAA games highly successful, both in critics and sales, it's because they were designed for the console, for the controller. When you have the Duke, that big ass controller, and you grab this controller and you play Halo, everything makes sense, right? Even the crosshair there, it's just like it was really well designed for the analogs there. I mean, everything was designed especially for the console, for the controller, so it was really well designed. It's graphically, it's amazing. It has a nice performance as well. It's not a 60 FPS, but at the time, everything else was so impressive. You don't even think about FPS. It was not even a thing back in the day, right? And I think the early game is Tribes for PC. Probably was launched in 2000, but Tribes was not close successfully as Halo was. So I mean, Halo, and I gotta say, probably it's the best launch game ever for any console.
I think that's
Probably.
fair. The only other game that might come close is Mario 64.
Oh yeah, right. That's really good fight there. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's Sonic the
Huge
Hedgehog. The
match
Mega Drive.
there.
Sonic the Hedgehog for the
Huge
Mega Drive
match
was
there.
not a launch title. Mega Drive launched in 1989. The Sonic the Hedgehog was 1991.
Okay. What launched in that? What was the Shadow of the Beast? Was it no Altered Beast?
Altered Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Altered Beast was arcade game '88 and was launched on the. Actually, was not launched on the launch. It was like some days after launch in the Japan
Yeah, it was a
for Mega
It was a
Drive.
European launch title.
Yeah.
Yes, the US as well. I think.
So D for Halo then? Yeah, bottom of the pile.
Huh, no.
No, didn't think so. Straight to the top of S
Move everything aside.
for the first Halo.
And the thing is, just to finish off on that, because I know we're going to go straight into the next one, is like back in the day, for reasons I won't go into on this podcast, I was kind of ignoring Xbox at that point. I was definitely firmly Sega and PlayStation as they progressed, keenly clinging to Commodore and Acorn computers and whatnot. So I don't know. Again, for reasons I won't go into, I was sort of like not really interested in Xbox. Didn't give the GameCube much attention neither, to be honest. But as time progressed, and you want anything and everything to do with retro gaming at a certain point. I did explore a lot of these titles. Some on the list certainly I haven't, but obviously Halo is a staple. But I kind of regretted, like you said, Ryder, regretted not doing it earlier, regretted not getting one at launch, because I certainly could have. I looked at them, and I literally just went, no, Microsoft, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was my attitude back then, because I didn't like certain things Microsoft had done in the gaming arena and in the home computer market, prior to their Xbox launch, should we say. And I'm going back in time by quite a bit there, but that was really a silly opinion to have. Everything has to progress. These things all weren't down to one company. Things happen, mistakes were made by numerous parties, and here we are. But I think when you can look back, you can appreciate all of it more. And certainly, the Xbox, it is a console that I am definitely now exploring more, because I never had the opportunity to do so back then.
Yeah,
And you definitely should. It's a great console.
Yeah, it is.
I was all over video game magazines, and I remember to this day, just imagine dreaming about Halo, and there are two games that I remember specifically for Xbox. It's Halo and Malice. The girl with the hammer. These two games were so. It seems like the video game magazines, they enhance the photos or something, or maybe Microsoft enhanced the visual, but they were so much well advertised. Got the hype up in the sky. Unfortunately, Brazil here they didn't launch here, and import stuff here is very impossible at that time. Very expensive, but yeah, if I could go back in time, I would definitely grab one at launch.
Yeah. I think my opinion would be different now in hindsight. And I mean, the Xbox prototype as well. What a beautiful thing that was,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would call it beautiful.
It's amazing.
It's certainly unique.
I want the X shape. I think they should bring out the Xbox again and make it the X shape. It doesn't have to be platinum or whatever it was made of, Just do it in plastic. Clear plastic, make it an X. I'd buy it.
I think they want to send a message. We are the most powerful.
And they
we
were.
are the biggest.
Oh,
we
no.
have the biggest controller.
No, but it certainly is a console with a lot of niche titles, isn't it? Mainly because a lot of people did jump on board back in the day. Certain developers didn't they? And thought, they took the opportunity to write to it.
Yeah.
Cool. We're moving on to Halo 2.
No, the cover says it all, right? Dual
Yeah.
wielding. that was one of the best, I think, advertised promotion of the game. It's really fantastic.
I love the cover.
The cover
Yeah.
is excellent. The game is. I didn't think it was gonna be possible to get better than the first Halo. Or it was
They
certainly.
nailed it.
They mostly nailed it. I do have some issues with Halo 2. I think it was an interesting decision to spend half of the game not playing as the Master Chief. Not quite as interesting a decision as Metal Gear Solid 2 was, but that was still a good game. At the time, I really disliked the cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, I did.
I thought that was a cop out. I finished the final arbiter level, and I got to, you beat Tartarus on Delta Halo, and you find out that the Ark has been activated, and then it cuts back to Master Chief on the Forerunner Dreadnought ship, who's exits the portal, exits slip space back to Earth, and it's all like, yeah, we're gonna beat the Covenant, we're gonna kick the Covenant off Earth, and then the game ends. All right, what? Where's the rest of the game?
Lord of the Rings feels that feelings.
I mean, yeah, possibly. But I knew going into Lord of the Rings that it was a trilogy. I wasn't expecting the cliffhanger at the end of Halo 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, looking back at it, it feels like a really cool moment. But that is probably because I can immediately then start up Halo 3 and actually get that payoff.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual game itself, like, I mean, alright, the levels are a bit more linear, they're a bit more corridor-ish, you don't have the same sort of...
Like sandbox.
Yeah. The first game, the levels were like directed but also open. Like there was one place that you had to be to progress the story, but there were a couple of ways you could do it, especially on the first level of Halo, or when you first land on Halo in the first game.
Yeah, the first level of Halo nowadays I admire more, but for me, when I first play Halo on the PC, I was so frustrating because I was completely lost several times.
Yeah.
And for at the time I played first time, it was really frustrating, but I understand. At the same time, it was nice to feel like you're in the planet and where do I go?
Yeah.
Right, and you have to rely actually on Cortana, right, saying to you, and you have English barrier there, so that confused me a lot. I probably need a guide or something to for me. But yeah, on the Halo 2, I believe you have lesser levels like this, right?
It's a much more linear experience.
Yeah,
is Halo 2.
I enjoyed more.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The thing for me that sets Halo 2 apart from the first game is Xbox Live multiplayer.
That changed everything, right?
Yeah. Without Halo 2, I don't think Xbox Live would have been as popular as it was.
Yeah.
Microsoft probably still would have tried. With the 360, they baked it into the 360 at an OS level, whereas on the original Xbox it was more at a game level. But I think Halo 2 has a lot, can shoulder a lot of the responsibility for that. It was the first proper shooter that I played. Like, I played Quake and Unreal online a little bit on PC, but I really got into Halo 2. I played that a lot online. And I would love to again. But it's still offline, unfortunately.
I was going to say, yeah, didn't you say they were trying to look at that or something?
Yes, so they are working on it for Insignia, but Halo 2 is the most complicated in terms of its back-end services that it uses. It uses a lot of additional services that are run on external servers and not just Xbox Live. So they've got to reverse engineer all of that, which is going to take a long time.
So I should mention as well, obviously, I've just literally restarted off Halo 2.
Oh.
And at the very beginning, don't get me wrong, literally right at the very beginning. But that's certainly something I'm going to be doing some posts on and trying to grab some footage of as I progress through that.
Make sure to wear the helmet. You got it there.
I wish I could. You can't actually wear it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I know.
It's nowhere near the right size. I'd have to have like a very toaster-sized head, or a piece of toast-sized head. Yeah, it's a great collectible. At what you're on about there, I know you've got it as well, haven't you, Chris? But
I do, yes.
It's literally just the games that sit inside there, and then the helmet sits over like the supported case for them. But it is a nice addition, and I've finally found a place for it again in the games room.
Mine has pride of place next to my CRT.
Nice.
So, again, I don't really think too much needs to be said about Halo 2. Top of the pile?
For me, yes.
I'm going to say yes, only because I had a better experience of it than Halo 1. And it's the one I chose to go back to.
I am also going to say yes.
Well,
I mean, dual wielding.
Oh, the dual wielding was...
It's like a completely different game.
Yeah,
it's not a different game, obviously, but yeah, it's really changed everything.
Yeah, really good.
You expect you really change what your mind. Okay, I'm gonna plan. I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna grab this. Okay, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna have this a second, and I'm gonna have two machine guns, two of the same kind or different, or two alien guns.
Oh, it was dirty in multiplayer though. It was absolutely nasty because you could use the Covenant plasma pistol in one hand. You do a charged shot with that to instantly bring down a shield, and then the pistol, the human pistol, just headshot.
Yeah.
And that's it. You've taken them down. It was nasty.
Nice,
but really good. I'm going to put my cards on the table here. I don't think anything that's coming up is going to top Halo 2.
It's for Xbox. For Xbox, name and brand. It's really it's the top of
staple game.
Amount. Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on?
Okay.
Cool. Next up, we have the BioWare martial arts action RPG, Jade Empire.
Great game.
Never played it.
You should.
You should. It is a great game. It's not as good, in my opinion, as other BioWare games and the other BioWare game that is on this list. But it is very good.
Yes.
I haven't played any BioWare.
You've not played any BioWare games?
Nope.
Okay. So the first thing you need to do after we finish this is leave work. Doesn't matter if your shift is finished or not. Leave work, find a copy of Knights of the Old Republic, and play it.
Okay.
But we'll get to that because it's on this list.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
I think I have been looking at that one actually.
But we're not talking about Knights of the Old Republic. We're talking about Jade Empire.
Yeah, sorry.
Which came after Knights of the Old Republic, actually. It was what BioWare released after the first KOTOR and before Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So we agree it's very good. How good do we think it is?
I would put after Fable, if you agree, or after Crimson Skies.
I think I would put it after Crimson Skies.
Okay, that's good.
I think it's very, very good, but I didn't have as much fun with it as I did with Crimson Skies.
Okay.
So we'll go there. We got no A-tier games at the moment, but I think that might change.
It's about too soon.
It's about too soon.
Yeah. Just to close this one, BioWare games, right? I remember my colleague saying Mass Effect was the best game ever. And I said, oh, really? And I tried, and yes, I agree with him.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the best games, right? Mass Effect is one of the best game ever.
Yeah,
right?
the Mass Effect trilogy is probably my favorite trilogy of games.
Yeah.
And I mean that's saying a lot because I love Halo.
Yeah.
Um,
and that's probably what got me to play Dragon Age. And I played Dragon Age Origins, that's like Dragon Age 1 on the PC, and I don't remember how much deep I got into the lore of a game. I started to read the books. I started to read, doing parallel stuff, other advertising stuff about the game, the books and mobile games, stuff like that. Everything Dragon Age, I was into because I really love. I was, it's really difficult for me to dive into a story of a game. Just like you said about Halo, I don't quite remember the story and the. I mean, I remember the most important stuff, right? But it's hard for me to dig on the story and keep going. Anyway, I love so much Dragon Age that okay, I need to play. I think I need to play all BioWare games because after Mass Effect and Dragon Age, okay, BioWare is probably the best publisher designer ever. Developer, right?
they were.
That, yeah, and that got me into Star Wars and Jade Empire, and that's how I discovered Jade Empire, and I saw that was really the same practically the same period as KOTOR, Knights of the Republic, but very different because Jade is more like action, right? And I love more that at the time. But then I played after, no, I'll just save this later. But then I love Knights of the Old Republic as well. Not despite not being action, I said okay, I don't not sure about this game. Let me try because everyone talk about it and I love it. But Jade Empire, the cool thing is it's like it's a BioWare game, of course. It has some interesting story. It's a very easy game to get to it, not complicated, and you have all that experience, and you can model your character. You have different techniques and styles, and it's a really great made game. It's really fun. Action, right? It's a really action game, action RPG, but it, there's much style on it. So, I recommend for everybody, Jade Empire, really everybody. I think everybody needs to try this one. It's available for PC as well, right?
Yes, it is.
Enhanced version, something. Yeah, I think I recommend this game for like anyone, everybody. You like action, you like RPG, you like story, you like triple A game, graphics, everything, dialogue.
Yeah.
It's really great.
And it is also backwards compatible on Xbox One and Xbox Series. Again, with the enhanced internal 1080p and 4K rendering.
Nice.
So it does look nice on those new consoles. So you can pick it up digitally on the Xbox Store for maybe a tenner, maybe 15 quid.
Yeah. It's
And
really hard to think, a game like Jading Fire, the same quality as done as, it has all the BioWare quality you expect.
I totally agree. It's a really, really good game.
Yeah.
I just prefer Knights of the Old Republic, which we which we will get to.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the next game, and this for me, I think, is our first A tier game, which is Jet Set Radio Future. So I know a lot of people love this game, and that's completely fine. A lot of people love the first game, and I respect that. I get it, but I didn't play a lot of this game primarily because I found the first one just to be kind of irritating.
Yeah, it can be very frustrating. I agree.
Like I get that people love it, but it's not an S tier game for me.
No, not S tier.
Well, that sounds like an easy A for from everybody.
Yeah,
I think I don't think I've played the second one. I did play the first one, but like you said, I didn't really give it maybe as much as a chance as should have. But I just found it quite frustrating.
Yeah.
But I know that's not the general consensus.
yeah.
Maybe I have to give it another try. Maybe I have to go back to it.
Yeah, I think it's something that I maybe unfairly dismissed too early.
Well, one thing I guarantee: if you go back, you're gonna be frustrated again. There's no way you cannot be frustrated on this game. I think you can reevaluate everything, but the frustration is gonna be there.
Well,
I guarantee
if I go in expecting to be frustrated, then that might take the edge off it a little bit. Yeah. All right, so
I played this one, Jet Set Radio, right?
Yes.
The Japanese version of Jet Grind Radio. Jet Grind Radio.
Interestingly, I think it was, and I might be wrong. I could be very wrong here. I think it was only the first one that was called Jet Grind Radio in the US.
Yeah, and Europe as well, I think.
No, Europe it was Jet Set Radio.
Oh, Jet Set. Okay. Yeah. Again, Americans trying to change and adapt everything unnecessarily, completely unnecessary. I think.
But I'm pretty sure
I don't
this was
know the motives about. Yeah.
This one, I'm pretty sure it was Jet Set Radio Future worldwide.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the frustration. I mean, it's like the mission design, right? You have a time limitation, and the controls somewhat sometimes are clunky. That doesn't respond as you expect to it, and you have the thing that you have to do it all over again. You're nearing the end of the mission, and then you fail. You have to start all over again, and it's not that quick, and you have the time stuff. So I think most of these things can be very frustrating, but as a unique style, it's one of the best games out there.
Oh yeah,
the cell shaded. Yeah, right. It's one of the first probably cell shaded games
graphically
that got successful.
Graphically, it's aged very well because of its it's
amazing
art style. It's still it's like Wind Waker, because of that Wind Waker's like that sort of cell shaded graphical style. It looks really good still.
Yeah, 3 games comes to my mind. Jet Set Radio, Wind Waker, and Borderlands, right? Cell shading. I think that's
Yeah.
probably one of the most important games, the most successful games cell shaded, really got. And yeah, because of this, it's like just like use some mechanics maybe from Tony Hawk's, right? So it's like it doesn't have the same impact as Tony Hawk's, of course, but yeah, it's for this considerations. I think we cannot put as S tier, right?
No.
It's also, it was released for Dreamcast first, so it's like a arcade game
Yeah.
because Sega's much more towards arcade. So okay, one more arcade style game for Dreamcast, fine, and that's it. It has success, but it's more like arcade stuff. You fail, you start again, and you have time limit, and
Yeah, this one did sort of continue the tradition. In fact, there's quite a lot of Sega games on this list.
yeah,
Of, well, the original Xbox being a spiritual successor to the Dreamcast.
yeah,
Um, so, A tier? Are we happy with A tier?
yes.
Yep.
It's a fun game,
Cool.
fun, unique style.
It definitely is, and it deserves recognition. I just don't think it's gelled as well with the three of us that it did with everybody else.
No.
It seems. All right. Next up, I think we are halfway through now. How many games have we got? 10, and then there's 10 left. Yeah, so we're halfway through. Mech Assault.
Didn't play.
I did. It's a fun game. It's a good game. It's really good on Xbox Live. One of the first, in fact, it was one of the first two Xbox games to have Xbox Live support, along with Unreal Championship. I don't think it's an S tier game.
Okay.
It's good, it's fun, but it's not what I would consider to be like an iconic Xbox game.
And I don't think I have played it. I can't remember where or how, but it definitely rings a bell. I can picture it briefly in my head, but yeah, I've not put in the amount of time necessary to give it a personal rating.
Yeah. I would put this just above Jet Set Radio.
Where is Jet Set Radio?
A. It's the only game in A tier right now.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah? Ryder, you've not played it. Did you say?
No.
No. Alright. Do you have any objections to it going above Jet Set Radio?
No, that's fine.
Cool. Come on. Please go. I'm just going to have to put it there and then move Jet Set Radio. Okay. So we're starting to fill out the A tier a little bit. Now, another big hitter. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Not for me.
Sorry?
Not for me.
No?
No.
Didn't play it or didn't enjoy it?
Didn't play it. Haven't given it the opportunity, maybe, but if it's what I'm thinking of.
Don't even need to play.
Is it like describe it to me, because I think it's the game I'm thinking of, but
So,
I'm not 100% sure.
Have you played Skyrim?
There you go, you've said it. Not for me.
Right. Morrowind is like Skyrim, but the training wheels have been taken off.
Yeah, no. It's just not my type of game.
I do enjoy a Bethesda RPG. Well, most Bethesda RPGs. I stopped playing Starfield because it was became tediously dull. But that's another conversation. I like Morrowind, but I don't know if I like it more than Jade Empire, for example.
Uh, so this is a PC game,
PC and Xbox, yes.
but it was not designed for Xbox, right? This is
I
this
think
is clearly a PC game series, right?
so Morrowind was the first Elder Scrolls game that came out on console, I believe. Let me have a look and see what the release timeline was. So it was developed basically in tandem. It came out on Windows on PC in May of 2002, and then came out on Xbox in the US in June of 2002, so a month later. So this wasn't ported after the PC release. It seems like it was developed concurrently for both platforms.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't live through the hype of the Morrowind because most of Bethesda games, especially Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind, were really like outstanding games for their time, right? So after I'm not sure Arena and Daggerfall, right? The second one.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the first two. It's really I know it's really great games, but not groundbreaking. I'm not sure by the time because we had a lot of that like RPG games as well, right? But I think all the Bethesda glory maybe started with this game.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the one that really started to popularize the Bethesda RPG because
Yeah.
it added that audience that wasn't that like as you mentioned, Arena and Daggerfall were PC only.
Yeah.
And this one opened it up to consoles and gave it a bigger audience. It's a good game. It's a great game. It deserves to be in the S tier. It's just where.
Yeah. Yeah. For
can't
me,
comment.
then the only thing I left to say about this one is the first thing that comes to my mind, and that is very well. No, a very aged game. I think
Yes.
I tried to play because
Yes.
I live through the hype of Oblivion. The Oblivion hype I remember, and was one of the most games I was anxious. I was expecting to play. I was waiting for play Oblivion because all after Grand Theft Auto, all the open world freedom and stuff. So I was obsessed about Oblivion, and then Skyrim. I played through Skyrim. I mean, I spent nights playing Skyrim, and then I had some. My eyes were hurting because the sun was coming up. I really, in a blink of eye, it was night through the day. I was all night playing and upgrading my character. So I mean, I understand Elder Scrolls, Bethesda, but I really tried to play Morrowind on PC and I couldn't because I felt so aged. It aged a lot for me. So I wouldn't put as S, but I understand the importance of the Morrowind, right? So I
Yeah,
understand
that's
put it
kind of
on
my
S.
opinion as well.
It's fine. Yeah.
That's my opinion as well. It's like it's not my type of game. Um, I haven't given it fair opportunity to give it too much of a review. Skyrim isn't my type of game. but I do get its importance, and I do get sort of what it done. So yeah, I wouldn't say yes again. I agree with Ryder. I think A.
I would love to play a remake of the Morrowind. I would be
Well, there is
excited about it.
There is a fan-made remake called Skywind.
Yeah.
Which
but
is
that's just a Skyrim mod. Right?
It is a Skyrim mod. It's Morrowind in the Skyrim engine.
Yeah.
I
mean, something from Bethesda. I mean, something really special, really well made. I think I would play it. Yeah, I'm not sure about the mod stuff. It's interesting. Yeah, I knew that, but I mean, coming from Bethesda.
Okay.
So, but I agree with Chris as well. But I also understand the importance of Morrowind, and just as I said, I didn't live through the hype. By the 2002, I was still on Dreamcast, playing Dreamcast, and not having a good rig, good PC. So I understand the importance as the S tier.
So if I were to say after Doom 3, how would you feel?
Yeah, because it's also a PC game, ported. I understand it was ported from PC, right?
Developed concurrently, but yeah, it was a PC game.
Yeah.
All right, it goes there then, unless there's any objections.
No, it's fine.
No.
Cool. All right. Best game ever.
You mean most overhated game, right?
Outrun 2.
Yeah, I waited for this moment, Chris, to say to you, I think you overhate this game too much. Sorry.
Do you think I overrate this game too much?
A lot. Yeah.
Really? Okay. What makes you say that?
Wait till you hear my opinion.
No, man. I'm just kidding. It's obviously you're really passionate about this game, right?
I am. Outrun 2
Yeah.
is an Outrun 2006. But I nominated Outrun 2 and a few other people did. Because this one was Xbox exclusive. Which was one of the stipulations that all of these games had to be exclusive or timed exclusive. If that stipulation wasn't there, I would have went for Outrun 2006. But this to me, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, it is arcade. I'm not even going to say racing, because I don't consider this a racing game. I consider this a driving game. And there is a difference.
Yeah.
It is an arcade driving game distilled down to its absolute purest form and then slapped on a disc. It is about the car. It's not about winning, but I mean, because you're not really racing, the only thing you're trying to beat is the clock. It's about the journeys through the environments. It's about the long, winding roads stretched out in front of you. It's about the vistas. It's about the music. The whole combined experience. Like when I'm driving, and if I find a long, outstretched road in the middle of the countryside ahead of me, and I can just see. In fact, there's a drive that I do quite frequently up the M40, from London ways up the M40, and there is a stretch on the M40 where you come over a hill just before you get to Oxford, and you come out of this little valley that's cut into the top of the hill. And you come out and you can see the whole motorway below you, stretched out in front of you. You can see all the traffic and all of the lanes, and it looks like Outrun, and I can hear Splashwave in my head every time. And I
hope you don't try to drift.
No, I don't actually do the Outrun style driving, but it's, and I cannot overstate how much
Yeah,
and you guys know, like
you really love this game.
I ran the Outrun 2006 challenge last year because I wanted more people to play this game, and I succeeded. I got more people to play this game. I didn't get as many people as I
And
wanted to play this game, but like
that was your first challenge,
that was
right?
my first. That was my
You
first
led.
challenge. That was the first one I led for the community.
And I remembered saying to Chris, well, this is very odd. This, I mean, the first game being outrun for retro. I mean, okay, right? It's okay. It's not that usual, but it's interesting, right?
I mean, it's on the original Xbox. It's considered a retro game. But yeah, this is arcade driving perfection. There is,
Yeah,
in my mind, no better arcade driving game.
I mean, this is hang on all over. I think, right? Because
It,
this was
it's a
designed for arcade,
yes,
right?
it's a very similar style of game to Hang On,
Yeah.
especially the original Outrun on the arcade. It's they share a lot of the same DNA.
You have the car cabin, you
Yeah,
have the car stuff, just like you did with the expensive version of Hang On, that you have the motorcycle there, the motorbike there. So my opinion about this game, I think it's arcade how do you say, perfectness.
yeah,
Arcade. You know, the objective of video game is having fun. Arcade, I think it tried to extract, no, not to extract, but tries to expand this to the limits. How much fun I can make this game.
yeah,
As an arcade, because arcade's all about fun. You
yeah.
you, you really have to get certain coin. You have to be impressed by the cabin there, right? The cabinet, and you have to insert the coin or whatever credits, and immediately have fun, right? For the one coin that you waste there, one credit. So I think that's it. I feel like this, it's arcade perfection, right? All the fun that you would expect and have an arcade, and you have the graphics, the performance, the soundtrack, the style, and the game, especially the gameplay.
Yeah.
Right, it nails everything.
It
As
abs-
a what should an arcade game, fun arcade game, be? Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. You've pretty much uttered my words anyway. But my first experience of Outrun was on the Commodore Amiga. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not the best on the Commodore Amiga.
Yes, but we're not
Okay.
but we're not talking
It's
about
completely different
Outrun.
game.
We're not talking about
But-
Outrun on the Commodore Amiga, or even Outrun on the arcade, or Outrun on the Mega Drive. We are talking about Outrun 2 on the Xbox.
Yeah, but I'll get to that. Now, that put me off the series, really. Okay? It wasn't a racer that I paid much attention to after the 16-bit era. The next time I paid any attention to any Outrun game was on your challenge.
Wow.
Okay? Apart from probably the odd go on an arcade machine prior, like over the years. Not a racer I give any attention to. I knew how expensive it is on the Xbox for Outrun 2. I think is quite expensive,
It's
isn't it?
Outrun 2006.
as well.
Yeah, 2006 is expensive. Outrun 2, you can get for a fairly reasonable price.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the challenge, and I really enjoyed like you just said, the way they brought the arcade home with this one. Splash Wave, definitely. It's a great piece of music. It's got a really good atmosphere to it. The whole game just draws you in,
Summer vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, it does just draw you in. And I think a lot of people had fun with that challenge, to be honest. And I kept on going back to it, not only to just better my time, but because I actually enjoyed playing it. You know, I actually enjoyed doing the tracks. Actually enjoyed the atmosphere and the vibe and whatnot. So it's definitely a game I'm going to continue to look at, and I probably will stick to the PS2 version on that. Probably not the Amiga, because it's a bit of a letdown there.
Well, so like I mentioned, let me just have a quick look on eBay. So, as far as I'm aware, no, why am I searching eBay on eBay? The Xbox version of Outrun 2 you can get for about £10 to £15, which I would recommend doing purely because, and I'm going to use the I word again, it's just been added to Insignia for Xbox Live multiplayer.
Really?
Yes. It was added just before Christmas.
Actually, I'm not sure of Outruns on Amiga Live. We could do Outrun on Amiga and then Outrun on Xbox.
Yeah,
How about that?
We could.
Sorry, I keep on going back to the Amiga.
No, that's fine.
I want you to see how painful it is.
So yeah, that I recommend picking it up on Xbox. Not Outrun 2006 because it's ridiculously priced.
I'd like them both on Xbox, to be honest, but I'm not prepared to pay £100+ for a copy on Xbox. I've got it on PS2, so
yeah. There's no need to.
Here's a random question before we move on. If you had to choose, and again, I know this isn't Xbox, I know that, but if you had to choose as regards a racer, like an arcade racer, and I know what the answer is going to be anyway, but I think some opinion may differ on this. Do you think Outrun is better or Ridge Racer?
Outrun is better.
True arcade vibe.
Outrun.
Ryder?
I have I don't know how to say in English. I keep forgetting the expression. I have memories, affective personal memories.
Nostalgia,
yeah.
For Ridge Racer.
I have nostalgia for Ridge Race, so it's really hard for me not to pick Ridge Racer for PS1 Type 4.
I think that kind of question, it comes down to personal preference. I don't think there's a wrong answer there.
No.
Because Ridge Racer, like the Ridge Racer games, are great. And they are, so I think, and here's the difference, right? And this is why I made the distinction. Ridge Racer are arcade racing games.
Yeah.
Like
driving games.
like Daytona and Sega Rally and things like that. They are racing games. The point is to race against other cars and win. Outrun is a driving game.
Oh,
yeah.
And I think that distinction needs to be made.
Yeah, that's fair. But where do we put it?
I know where I would put it.
Where?
I would put it, in honesty,
I'm interested to see where you guys would put it. Because we've all gushed about this game a little bit. Like, we've all said how much we enjoy Outrun.
For me personally, right, it has to, like, from my personal point of view, I think after Fable.
Interesting.
And that's only because, I don't know, maybe Crimson Skies is a much better game than Outrun 2, but I've not played that.
Interesting. Ryder, where would you put it?
Top tier B.
Top tier B.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're trying to wind me up or not.
No, I just checked Metacritic score. Sorry.
Yeah, but we're not going off a Metacritic score unless we can't decide. We've all.
Can I say the Metacritic score here?
Do we need to?
I think it's interesting.
I do have the Metacritic score. I do know what it is.
So that goes straight to B, right? Metacritic.
Only if we couldn't decide. Only
We need to know
No,
your opinion, Ryder, and we need to know your opinion, Chris.
so my
well,
opinion.
Metacritic is always right, right?
No, it's really
No.
not.
Metacritic.
It's really not. Um,
No, Chris, I'm just messing with you again, man. Yeah, completely S. Uh, just like I said, it nails the spirit of what an arcade game should be, right?
yeah.
So just nail it's Sega all over again. So yeah. Where? Hmm. Yeah, for me personally, I would, I accept any place, but I would put after Jade Empire for me.
Okay. So for me, in terms of, in terms of the amount of fun that this game is, and that's as you mentioned, like that's the point of games is to have fun. It rivals, maybe not beats, I don't know, but rivals Halo.
Mm.
I would put it. I would put it no personally no lower than between Halo and Fable.
Mm, no, I don't feel much comfortable putting, above Fable.
For me, I do admit it's an amazing game, right? It truly, like you just said, it's Sega all over. It's so much fun. Since we've been talking about this game, the music has been running around in my head. Splash Wave's been there non-stop. It's still there right now. So it's a game with influence, right? It's a lot of fun. But okay, we just settled on it's a driving game, not a racing game, but it is that one thing. It's a driving game, isn't it? I don't
Yeah,
think
but
I'd be comfortable before Fable.
yeah, we're talking about Xbox here, right?
Yeah,
Outrun is a great game and a great port because it's we know it's an arcade game. Even you have the two there, you have Outrun 2, you have the stuff, but we know in its core it's just an improved or enhanced version of our arcade game. So I mean the first three, Halo and Fable, are games designed for Xbox. Even Fable was ported after for
I
PC,
mean,
right?
I'm gonna throw a tiny little bit of a curveball. You are right to say that Outrun is an arcade game,
Yeah.
but the arcade hardware that it ran on is modified Xbox hardware. So, from a certain point of view, Outrun 2 was also designed for Xbox.
Great. But I mean, just like I love to use this example, Transformers movie, right? My opinion on that movie, it's a terrible movie, but it's a movie made, designed, as well as pretty much all other movies for you to watch on the cinema, on the theater, right? You have to go to the cinema, all the screen, the huge screen and the sound surround, right? So Outrun, I understand it used the hardware, but it was designed to play for you to play on the cabinet arcade, where you sit, on the car, and you have that great screen, right? So that is the arcade. The arcade, it's not just the the how the game was developed. I mean the mechanic. It's not just a mechanic. The arcade, the cabinet. It's everything is designed for you to enjoy the game. So that's why I'm saying it's an arcade game, because it's meant for you to play on an arcade cabinet, right? With all the fancy stuff and the colors and advertising. So as an Xbox game, Xbox per se, I don't think it goes above Fable. For the fun, I completely understand going S tier, right? But I would not feel like it should go above Fable. If that's okay for you. Just one step below.
Let me tell you why I would put it above Fable. And it's very, very simple. It's really straightforward.
Yeah.
I go back to Outrun maybe once or twice a week. Maybe once or twice every 2 weeks. I play it frequently. I don't really go back to Fable that often.
Yeah.
I don't like I enjoy Fable, I like it a lot, but it is not a game that I will just go, you know what, I fancy playing some Fable tonight. Outrun, I'll be like, I've got half an hour to kill. I'll put some Outrun on. And maybe because it's because of its arcadey pick up and play nature, you finished a session in 5 or 6 minutes. That's personally why I would rate it higher than Fable. But
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
The idea of this is Xbox rated community games, right?
Yeah.
So the members have submitted them.
Yeah.
The idea is we rate them. So I've got no problem with. I mean, I think personally, which is what we're doing here. I think personally after Fable, Ryder thinks Fable, so you think before Fable. So it is up, like you said, for you to convince us. So I definitely get what you're saying. It's more of a pick up and play. It's fun. It's it's a game I own. I don't as much as I love it. I actually own it as well and would happily go back to it. I don't own Fable. I've played it, but I don't own it currently. So that does say something.
So,
I mean, it's okay for me. That's fine.
Here's where
here's
where I stand at the moment. I still believe and remain unconvinced that it should go after Fable. However, there's 3 of us, and I am currently outvoted. So, unless we want to be here all night, and I will sit and argue the merits of Outrun 2 all night, because I have nothing better to do.
And we all know it belongs to B because of Metacritic, right?
Well, no. Metacritic is the fallback. It is the last resort, as I've said. But in the spirit of expediency, I will begrudgingly accept the majority vote.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
And put it after Fable. I am saying that because I believe there is only one more game coming up that belongs in the top 5.
Okay.
I wonder which one that's going to be.
Yeah, I wonder. Anyway. Moving on. After I think we've spent more time talking about Outrun than any other game.
Then we should.
and I think for that matter, because we spent so long talking about it, it should be the top game.
I said the first thing I said. It was overhated by you. I said it. I warned you guys.
Another challenge coming up, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Another Sega classic, Panzer Dragoon Order.
Yeah.
I enjoy this game, but I don't enjoy it I don't enjoy it more than any game that we currently have in S tier.
Yeah, I've never played this one, to be honest.
Yeah, this one I never played as well. I played back in the day on the Saturn. I lived through the hype, the Panzer Dragon. I rented. I remember renting this game on the store. I enjoy it, not that much as well. I currently own both the 1 and 2 for Sega Saturn, Japanese. But it's pretty much like, you know, an enhanced version of Space Harrier, let's say.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Uh,
It's an on rails shooter, and I think there are games that do this better.
Actually, on rail shooter, it's like virtual cop. You said.
Well, when I say on
Actually,
rails, when I say on
yeah,
rails, I mean you're right. It's like Space Harrier. You can control the character, but
yeah,
your route is set. Like you can't
yeah.
deviate from the route. And there are better games in this genre. I think
I feel it's like an arcade game.
yeah,
Pretty much like an arcade game. I would put it as A because I didn't play, but I understand the importance as well,
yeah.
and I know the core mechanic, and I enjoy it, but not as a S tier.
Yeah, I think I agree. I would put this between Mech Assault and Jet Set Radio Future.
Okay, that's fine.
And I have heard of it. It's just I've not actually played it.
So we'll go there. Again, like for anyone listening back to this, if this was your nomination, would genuinely love to know your thoughts on the game and why it was in your top 5 nominations. It would be fantastic.
Yeah, tell us about it in the comments.
Exactly. Okay, we've got another 2 games, and there's more racing games. Project Gotham Racing and Project Gotham Racing 2.
Yeah, I'll hold back on this one. I think people know my opinion on this one, so I'll hold back for a minute.
So, I think I haven't played a huge amount of these. They are, as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, they are spiritual successors to Metropolis Street Racer on the Dreamcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And they are more arcadey racing games.
Yeah.
But not quite Bridge Racer or Outrun, rather levels
No.
of arcadey. So they sit somewhere between Forza and Bridge Racer.
Yeah, much more arcade than Forza. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more arcade, definitely.
Okay. Purely on the basis that they are more arcadey, I like them more than Forza already. But I haven't spent a huge amount of time with them, so I can't really comment.
Yeah, I didn't play back in the day. I just heard about this game, maybe on video game magazines, probably. I own it because the first one is a launch exclusive game for Xbox until this day. No PC release. I didn't play the second one, so I'm not sure about how much the evolution of the game that was a difference. So I enjoyed this game, but I didn't play as much as I enjoyed Forza. So I like to play racing games on the hardest difficult. I enjoyed playing this. I'm really struggling with Project Gotham Racing. Maybe because the setups and stuff really, the difficult spike. I mean, I didn't adjust very much about it. I mean, usually I have trouble playing arcade games like Need for Speed, but then I managed to surpass the difficulty. Just playing it over and over, but I got a little bit frustrated with this game. It's maybe I'm bad at this game, so I didn't manage to play on the hard difficult that much. I usually, when we say arcade games, we say Need for Speed, most of it. But yeah, I play Blur. I play many other arcade games. And I usually play it on hard. So I didn't have the same fun as I usually have. That's what I'm trying to say. So I would put like A after Jet Set Radio. Both probably.
Okay.
But number 2, I didn't play. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I really like it. I like the arcade style of it. I like the way, just the design of the levels. I really like the car choices and selection. It also has a really cool mini game, I think, in number 2, somewhere. Yeah, definitely number 2. I think has a really cool mini game inside it as well. But I think Xbox 2, Gotham Racer 2 was Xbox Live. I'm sure it was.
Yes, it was, because I can see it's got the Xbox Live little banner on the cover art.
Yeah. Because I remember that. I definitely remember that being a thing. I didn't take part of it, as you say, because I didn't have an Xbox back then. But I definitely remember that being quite a big thing on Xbox Live to an extent. And I just remember being really impressed with the game, to be honest, compared to a few others. Like, okay, not probably as much as Outrun, not probably as much as the nostalgia of Ridge Racer. But if I was going to default to any Xbox game as regards a racer, it would probably be Gotham Racer, then Outrun, then Forza, to be honest, as regards Xbox. Because I do view Outrun more as a Sega arcade game. Sorry, I'm digressing.
Iconic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly. That's what I mean.
mean, as no S, no, like the name, right? When you say outrun, you immediately,
I think
for old timers, you think, yeah, you think 86, right? I think it was released on 86 for
Yeah,
the first time,
something like
and
that.
you'll see as you remember when you say outrun, first thing you come to my mind is Sega arcade, right, or
Yep.
Mega Drive, probably, not Xbox.
Yeah,
Project Gotham Racing, on the other hand, yeah, it's usually Xbox, right? It comes to mind.
Yeah, but if I ask you to think of an Xbox racing game, what's the first game that comes to mind?
For me, it's Forza, of course.
It's for everyone. It's going to be Forza.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means Project D go to D below C.
I don't know. I don't know where this would go for me, because I haven't played it a huge amount. I'm happy to be the split vote. If you guys like, I assume the choice is between S and A.
It's not.
So what do you say, Chris?
I like it. I do like it, but it's not an S tier game, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
Okay. So
I think. Let me just have a look at A tier.
I mean,
I haven't played many of the ones in A tier. That's the problem.
Yeah, I didn't play any of the 3 games on A tier, but I know the style of the robot game, their machine game, the mecha game, right?
yeah.
I play other games like that, and I think I imagine how the game is. I played the first 2 Panzer Dragoon, and I played Jet Set Radio. But even without playing this game, I understand them, and even and saying this, I still put Project Gotham Racing below them because it's a really good game. I don't think it's a great game, arcade game for me. It's a good game. It's a good arcade game, not great. But I didn't play at the launch, so probably it was, it's if I had played at launch at least, or maybe the 2000, early 2000, maybe I had another opinion.
Same, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that.
So we're saying after Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we saying Project Gotham Racing 2, then Project Gotham Racing?
I would say 2, then 1. Yeah.
2, then 1. and then 1. There we go.
You should definitely try them though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick them up if I see them around on the cheap. Because I am always looking to build my Xbox collection.
Yeah, it's something I'm finally starting to do now, slowly but surely.
All right. Speaking of building my Xbox collection and picking up games on the cheap,
Yeah.
the next one, Quantum Redshift. So
I'll let you go first then, because I have it.
I hadn't played this game before this week. I picked it up on Monday. Yes, Monday at CEX. I spent a grand total of £2 on this game.
That's really good. That's cheaper than what I got it for.
I think I overpaid.
Really?
I'm not saying. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I can see what this game is trying to do.
What's it trying to do?
It wants to be the Xbox equivalent of F-Zero and
100%.
and Wipeout. Maybe leans more into F-Zero than Wipeout.
Yeah.
It fails, in my opinion. Maybe it's because I'm not very good at it, because I did struggle. I will admit, it took me 2 attempts to win the first race. I still haven't won the second race. The story, like there's character moments between races, and I heard that little chuckle there. It is the most over-the-top, edgy melodrama that is just unnecessary for a racing game. The controls don't feel tight. Like there's no. I couldn't find like an air brake that Wipeout has to get around corners smoothly. The tracks are confusing and I'm never sure which way you're going. I'm sorry, but I did not like this game.
No, the cover says it all. Because sorry, but the cover, it's like a bad movie cover that you see the cover and say, okay, this game sucks. Sorry.
Wow, I'm up against it here, aren't I?
Like I said, I can see what it's trying to do. Like I see the intent. I just when you're going up against F-Zero and like the likes of F-Zero X and Wipeout, you really need to bring your best, and it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely trying to be F-Zero. It's definitely trying to be Wipeout. There's no doubt about that. Like you said, probably more F-Zero than Wipeout, looking at the different elements to it and the design of the game and whatnot, especially the intro, because F-Zero has sort of story intros and sort of cutscenes, but they're certainly not as extended and great as they are on Quantum Redshift. However, what I was thinking is you look at when it was released, obviously, it would have been released alongside F-Zero GX, wouldn't it? It would have been out around a similar time period, because that was GameCube, wasn't it?
It was.
So to me, it was, to have that released back then, that was such a rip-off of F-Zero, I think. And like you said, they failed in that aspect, but I do actually enjoy playing this game. I like the way the levels look. That first level with the, where you're going through, you go down through the waterfall bit, and you've got the races to contend with, you've got the rocks to contend with, you can shoot weapons easily. I find, I probably not brilliant at it, but I do have good fun with it.
We should ask Insignia guys to work on this.
Yeah, I reckon we should do a Retroslice Quantum Shift, a Quantum Redshift challenge.
I mean, fortunately, it doesn't have Xbox Live multiplayer to begin with, so
Yeah, I didn't play this one, so but I completely understand that. In short words, it's just a rip off, knockoff of
It,
F-Zero and Wipeout
yeah,
wannabe.
it's pretty
Cheap,
much an
cheap
Xbox
knockout.
clone. But again, it's like it's not the best game. It's not, and it's probably not one I spend a lot of time on. But it is a game I go back to. Like if I am playing, say, like now I'm restarting Halo 2. I'll do a bit of Halo 2 for a bit, and then I'm like, oh right, okay, that's enough Halo 2 for tonight. The Xbox is on. I'll put Quantum Redshift in and just have a quick go on that. But again, I won't be on it too long, so it's more that type of game for me.
So
I know it's not brilliant.
it's actually your outrun.
I mean, I was going to say,
Right.
it sounds like you need to get a copy of Outrun too. 'Cause-
No, it's actually Retroslice's outrun, right?
I
So
wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. I definitely prefer
above or below
maybe
Big
for
Fable?
Xbox.
That's the
Yeah,
question.
maybe for the Xbox. I do like it as a little racer for the Xbox for sure. But if you said to me, well, you can only choose Quantum Redshift or F-Zero GX, Quantum Redshift would literally go out the window.
Okay, so this one or outrun for
Outrun.
you? Wow.
It's good, but it's nowhere near that good. It's fun,
So
but it's not as fun as Outrun.
I imagine below top tier B or C.
I would say, for me personally, I would say top of B.
Whoa.
Because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but I realize it is, yeah, probably not everybody's opinion.
Be okay for you, Chris?
I would say D. I'm sorry. I did not enjoy this game at all.
Down to you, Ryder.
So yes, no, I didn't play this. So between choices there, I think C it's appropriated, right?
Where, sorry?
C is a good. So C is a good spot because
In between the
between
two.
you guys, yeah, balance between you guys. So C would
Okay,
be a good
okay.
spot.
Okay. That sounds fair.
Poor Quantum Redshift. All alone in C.
All alone in C, and with the 3 games remaining, it's probably going to stay there.
I was going to say, yeah, it's probably going to be remaining the only one there. Wow, I feel
Yeah.
sorry for them.
Yeah.
Even volleyball
Because
done better with its bouncing
it's
asset.
yeah, it's basically a cheap knockoff trying wannabe, So
So,
sorry they didn't.
so
for success.
for reference, Quantum Redshift has the lowest Metacritic score
I was
of
literally just going to ask that.
any game that we've had nominated.
Go on, what is the score?
70.
70.
70.
Deserves B.
Only if we are falling back onto the Metacritic score votes, but which we aren't for this one because we decided C. The next highest is 71. Do we want to guess what 71 is?
There's the volleyball, wasn't it?
No.
Blinks.
It's Blinks. Blinks is
Oh,
71.
okay.
Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball is 73.
So, really, by Metacritic, it is a B, isn't it? But I'll decide. I mean, you've got your first ever impression of this week, Chris, haven't you? So obviously, Ryder's never played it. I've played it quite a bit. So no, I'd say what we've done is fair, to be honest.
Okay.
Personally.
Cool. Okay, this one's going to be interesting. The only non-Xbox exclusive, as the only timed exclusive on the list, Splinter Cell.
Not my type of game, as you know. Not really my style of game. I know it's very well renowned on Xbox. I know a lot of people loved it. Renowned game in itself and series, right? But I can't really comment on it because I've never played any Splinter Cell for more than about 45 seconds.
So
this is just like Morrowind for you, not your type of game.
Not my type of game, as in it's FPS, isn't it?
no, it's third-person stealth game.
I don't think you played this game.
I don't think.
Not played any of them. I've not played any Splinter Cell game. In fact, the only time I've ever seen a Splinter Cell game being played was many years ago at a friend's house, and I don't think that was Xbox. I think it was Xbox 360, probably. I don't know, but no, it's just those type of games. I can't. They don't hold my interest.
Yeah, really I think you're not into sneaking stealth
not
games.
Not into sneaking, not into military, not into
stealth, not stealth.
Stealthy. No.
That explains no Metal Gear Solid. Yeah.
If I have to do a little bit of stealth, okay. I mean, without pulling apart Xbox, but Cyberpunk, yeah, stealth is involved in that. Red Dead Redemption 2, I have to do stealth in that, but it's not the focus. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't like military-led games, sort of campaign games led like that, where it's all about sneaking around and trying to do the mission in a very, very set way. I mean, another example, Chernobylite. I've recently picked that up. Love that game. Love being in Chernobyl. Hate the focused gameplay and what I have to do. So it's just not for me, really. But I know it's had quite an impact, obviously.
Yeah, I love stealth. So completely opposite here.
I'll go in guns blazing.
I like stealth when it's the aim of the game. If it's a stealth game, then I enjoy it. If it's a forced stealth section in a game that has not been previously stealth focused, I find it incredibly frustrating. Yeah. Exactly. So if I go into a game knowing that it's going to be stealthy, then fine. For me, like Splinter Cell, it's good. It's good. It's an S tier game for me.
Me too.
But it wants to be the answer to Metal Gear Solid. And while Metal Gear Solid takes itself seriously in its the way like it handles its story and the characters take the events of the game seriously, the game itself doesn't really take itself seriously. There's a lot of like silly things in Metal Gear Solid, and it has a bit of fun with it. Splinter Cell is a straight down the middle, like serious, quite dry stealth game. It's a serious subject and a serious story, and it takes itself seriously, possibly a little bit too seriously.
Yeah, but that was the intention, right?
Yeah, that was the intention, and that it was meant to. But I think because of that, it doesn't have quite the same level of charm that Metal Gear Solid did.
Yeah, and I would enjoy it less for sure.
I think this is due to being Tom Clancy.
Yes.
After Rainbow Six, because Rainbow Six, it's for me it's started the division where I like Gran Turismo, right? Between fun, arcade, and simulation, real thing.
Yeah.
So strategic. It's strategy. Much more strategy than action. That Rainbow Six, first Tom Clancy game there, at least from Ubisoft, right? I think, yeah.
It was either Rainbow Six. Yeah, it might be Rainbow Six because Rainbow Six was on PS1 as well as PC. So
I think it got just like you said, that Tom Clancy feeling of Rainbow Six, and doing a stealth game, a stealth action game. You're right.
Yeah, and I'm sure I remember starting one off once. I do remember, because I don't know whether I'd seen it at a friend's house, and I'd had a Xbox 360 at the time, I think, and got a copy of a Splinter Cell game of him. And I honestly, literally think I was like 45, 50 seconds into the game. and I've got like this image in my head as I got dropped in this certain area. Maybe it was an airport or something. I can't remember, or something like that. I could be way off here, but it was definitely a Splinter Cell game. And I just thought, you directed me to do stuff and do this, do that, go here, and I was like, you know what? No, I don't like it. And it's like, you got to do this, sneakily do this. And I was like, no. I just turned it off. It's like, no, not for me. But that's my personal opinion. So I'm going to sit this one out totally and just let you battle it out of where it should be, because it's unfair for me to say it, because it's totally not my type of game. I would never play such a focused game like that where it's all about the stealth. It just doesn't interest me at all. So I don't want to be unfair to it.
Okay, no problem.
Cool.
Sure.
So, for me, in terms of positioning, I would say no higher than in between Jade Empire and Forza.
Wow.
Jade Empire. Yeah.
Yeah?
And at the end, when I said I've had no influence on it, I will tell you where I would have ranked it personally.
All right.
After Quantum Redshift?
Well done. Literally, it would be just because again, it's not for me, but hence why I'll sit this one out, because it definitely. I know it doesn't deserve to be there.
So, are we agreed between Jade Empire and Forza, or do we think it deserves to be higher?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah? Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Between Jade Empire and Forza. Alright. We're down to the final two.
And look what they are.
And they're both Star Wars games. Star Wars, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy.
Not played.
I have.
Yeah, I just
I haven't
want a
played
question
anyone.
about this one is an exclusive launch, or what's?
It only, as far as I'm aware.
I pretty much I think this is for PC as well.
Yes, it has a PC release.
But it was launched first for Xbox, or?
No. Let me bring it up.
I remember playing this on the PC.
Yeah. So it launched on PC in September 2003 and on Xbox in November 2003.
Yeah, pretty much same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, from my side, I mean, you two probably know I am, quite a Star Wars fan. I love the franchise and the series, but I've never actually played that many Star Wars games. That's the thing. I've never really found one that's truly held my attention yet. I think the only one I did have and own and actually played through, and I can picture it now, I think it was Outcast, is it? Jedi Knights Outcast?
Jedi Outcast. So I'm looking at that now, and I do need to make a quick correction. I called this one Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy. This is not Jedi Knight 2, this is Jedi Knight 3. Jedi Knight 2 is Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, because I think I had that on PC. That's the only one I've played.
Yeah, I would say I'm a very fan of Star Wars, and these two games, Knights of the Republic and Star Wars, are probably the best Star Wars game for me that I've played. And I didn't play Jedi Survivor or Dark Souls stuff because I know what it's all about. It's like Dark Souls, And
it is in terms of its combat, but it's not as hard as Dark Souls.
Yeah. So I love this game because it's an action game, and the Sith powers you use are amazingly fun. On KOTOR, right? Can we say KOTOR?
Yep.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
And on KOTOR, it's more fun in different ways, I would say, because KOTOR is not actually an action. I don't consider it to be an action game
No.
mechanic, right? Because you have the like strategy, like Dragon Age stuff, and pause and play and strategy, right? But is equally, yeah, it could be equally or differently fun, depends on how you see it. The thing for me for Star Wars is to use Sith powers. That's where I found the fun aspect. You have that game Star Wars Unleashed Power, Force Unleashed, that you play like a bad guy or um, I forgot the expression right now, the anti-hero, you know, but it has some morality on these games, especially KOTOR, right? But Jedi Outcast 2, you have, you can use the Sith powers, and it's really fun to be an action game where you are a Jedi, and you got to choose between powers. You can mix them up, or you can go full Jedi or go full Sith, and it's really really fun. Both games, Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, right? Jedi Academy 2 and the other one. But both are really fun games, yeah. I really enjoy it that much. It's like Outrun for me. But I play on PC. I didn't play on Xbox.
I agree, they are fun. Jedi Academy is a good game. It's a fun game. And you're right when you say it's a different kind of game to Knights of the Old Republic. It's Jedi Academy is a much more of an action game, whereas Knights of the Old Republic is an RPG. I don't know how. Well, I do know where I would put this. I think of the two games, of these two games that we have left, I think Knights of the Old Republic is better.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I would say top A for Jedi Academy.
Okay, that's fine for me. It's a for me personally, it's a really fun game, but it's not a great game overall. I would say it because pretty much basic mechanics, action and kill the enemies, go next stage, kill the other enemies, and go on, just pretty much like that. But it's really fun to play with the powers, different powers, especially being a Sith. One thing that I wish I could do on the Jedi Survivor, Dark Souls games, I think there are no Sith power, or maybe one or two, but I don't really think there's any Sith powers there. So yeah, not. I would play. I will play because I love Dark Souls. I'm currently playing Dark Souls 3, but yeah, being a Sith is a game changer for me. Yeah, and it has consequences as well. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it does.
Sounds like
Yeah, I agree with the
tier.
tier. I agree with the tier 8.
Yeah,
That's fine.
top A.
Yeah, really fun game.
There we go. Okay, the final game. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
So this was first launch Xbox, or
yes, it was. This was this came to PC after the Xbox release.
That's interesting. Yeah, that should be credit for the Xbox game. So right.
Yeah, and I think it was by maybe not quite a margin, but I want to see. Right, when was the Knights of the Old Republic was first released on Xbox in July 2003, and then November 2003, so 5 or 6 months later on
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah.
So not a huge amount later, but a little.
I would say, yeah. I followed this game hyped back in the day, but the mechanic for me, I said no, definitely not. I'm never gonna play a game like this where you stop and select the options and then. But this game was mentioned so many times before. Greatest game, greatest game, greatest game. Okay, I need to try this, right? And then I tried for PC, and my mind was blown. Yeah, really amazing game.
Yeah, this for me is the best Star Wars game ever made.
Yes, definitely, by far.
The story is fantastic. I like the fact that it is set so far away from the films.
Yes,
That's like it's like
it's a relief.
Yeah, it could almost stand on its own outside of the outside of the films. Like, yeah, it takes the some of the concepts and like the elements of that universe, of that world, like the Sith and the Jedi and the Republic and the Force and the dark side and all of that. It takes all of those, but it has no bearing whatsoever on the events of the original trilogy, or the prequels as that were coming out at the time. It's its own self-contained story. It's set so 4,000 years before the events of the films. It's free to do its own thing.
Yes, that's marvelous.
And the story it tells is really good. The characters are excellent. I don't want to go into the story details too much, because, well, first off, Ryder, you've played it, but Chris, have you played it?
No, but you persuaded me to.
All right, so I will not go into the story too much, because you really need to experience it yourself, and go in as unspoiled as possible.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the opportunities I've had to explore certain Star Wars games, I've usually been disappointed with the ones I have explored. But like I said, Xbox is a console that I'm certainly giving more attention to now. So I've known for a while that this is probably one that I should definitely pick up.
Yeah,
and probably the other one as well.
The sequel is also very good. Not developed by BioWare. It's developed by Obsidian. It's good, but it's not as good as the first one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, just as I'll give you a slight overview of the story. I mean, it's set during the Republic Sith War, back when there was a Sith Empire, and the aim of the game is to stop the Sith Lord, Darth Malak, from finding a piece of technology that would basically allow him to overrun the galaxy and destroy the Republic. And throughout the game, you team up with Republic officers. There's Jedi. You get Jedi members. HK-47 is probably one of the best characters in any BioWare game.
By far.
By far. So good.
Star Wars character.
So good.
So fun. Dark humor.
Yeah.
100% dark humor there.
there's a lot of lore in
A lot.
It's like
Lot.
you find out about the Jedi Mandalorian wars.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in it. It's like there's a lot in the Star Wars world, right? There's a lot of stories that can be told, and it's so deep and so rich, and there's so much in there, and it explores a lot of these different little things, but it tells you just enough to make you want to go, I want to know more about that.
That's the thing with Star Wars is I do get truly lost in it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Then
And I mean, I love it, literally love it. The films, everything Disney
And
has
you
done.
should play this game.
you need to play this game.
immediately.
It sounds like I should.
Yeah.
It's way overdue, right?
As a Star Wars fan, like, yeah, so I agree with what Ryder said about the combat. Like, it might feel a little bit dated because you can like pause the combat and queue up your actions because it's all based on D&D. The D&D combat rules.
Yeah.
So you queue up your actions and things that you want to do. But it's the best Star Wars game by quite some margin.
And for you to say that,
probably, yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just thinking it's definitely something like I clearly need to buy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it would really actually be nice to get my teeth into a proper Star Wars game and actually enjoy it and want to go back to it and play it.
This is a proper Star Wars game. Like, the story that it tells, and again, it's because it's BioWare. It has that morality system. You can be light side, you can be dark side. It has impacts on the story. The characters react to how you conduct yourself if you do something. Like, I think there's at least one of the characters. If you're evil enough, they will just leave your party. They'll just be like, sod this, I'm out, and just go.
Okay.
Yeah, I played the. Yeah, I think for me as a Star Wars fan, not that much of a fan of a geek, to read all the books stuff. But if it's not the best Star Wars thing other than the first trilogy, it's probably one of the best things Star Wars that you could ever, consume.
Yeah.
Other than the first three movies, because I'm not into that books and other stuff, and I personally don't like Clone Wars animation. People say a lot about it stuff. I don't. It's not my thing, that kind of animation. But when you talk about KOTOR, everything is a lot. I mean, there are choices. No, there are a lot of choices. Multiple choices. You can be extremely evil. You can be very evil. You can be evil. You can be balanced. You can be all 100% force, good. There are a lot of characters, a lot of story. I mean, the replayability of this game is quite infinite. There's so the choices. It's not just when you do one quest and you talk to the people and you make so many choices, you have so much multiple choices, multiple routes. I mean, imagine developing this game. It was really nightmare. I think was only possible for fans. This game would not be able to be developed by non-fans. This couldn't. There's no way this could be, just a rip-off game. Star Wars, another Star Wars rip-off stuff. The guys really need to enjoy the Star Wars to do something so big.
No, you're exactly right.
And I went this after Dragon Age because people were talking so much about Dragon Age that I need to play. I went deep dive. I love so much Dragon Age that I ran after BioWare games, and basically it's this is like a prequel of Dragon Age. Dragon Age repeats the formula
That's
of the KOTOR.
I was going to say something like that when we were talking about Jade Empire, and you mentioned Dragon Age and how Dragon Age was the game that got you into BioWare games.
Yeah.
Because when I played Dragon Age when it first came out, and I played Knights of the Old Republic beforehand, and I really felt like Dragon Age was just KOTOR, but fantasy.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of similar elements in there. The way that it plays, the choices and the dialogue choices that you can have. It's there's the similarities in the style of game cannot be understated there. But
yes,
I'm much more of a sci-fi fan than I am, and I enjoy Dragon Age. I think it's a very good game and a very good series.
No,
but I'm more of a sci-fi fan than I am a fantasy fan, so I will always choose Knights of the Old Republic over Dragon Age.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragon Age, you have many routes as well.
Yes.
But you have a class, you choose a class, and that's really defines many of your choices as well. Like you're doing a blood mage and stuff, and do stuff like that. On the KOTOR, I think you have a more freedom. You have multiple choices and going multiple routes, and there's no other game that you could be so much Sith. So if you enjoyed being evil,
really evil, really evil, in this
really evil. I mean, you could have a laugh for the entire game being evil. This and doing stuff. Every little thing you do this game affects your progress.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious.
The morality system in this one, you're right. It's so. Like, Mass Effect has its morality system as well. We've got Paragon or Renegade. But Mass Effect is do the right thing and be nice about it, or do the right thing and be a dick about it. But Knights of the Old Republic is just be evil. Like, one of the first NPCs that you meet is an alien and wants your help because he's being harassed by two Sith officers. And you can either help him and kill the Sith officers, or you can join the Sith officers. And you can just continue to harass this poor dude to the point where I think you might actually end up killing him. Just because he's an alien, and that's right at the start of the game. That's like after the first introductory mission when you get onto the first planet.
It can be really mouthful. You can be really disrespectful.
Really,
it's your best chance to be a Sith Lord. If you want to, if you ever dream about being a Sith Lord, that's your game.
Yeah,
that's your best chance to be a Sith Lord. Right? I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say that much, but if you imagine being a Sith Lord, doing stuff, have the powers of being a Sith Lord, you can. And on this one and the sequel as well. It's a really long game. Yeah,
would you recommend both? Then would you? Would you recommend Knights of the Old Republic and number 2 as well?
I would. Yes.
Okay.
But Knights of the Old Republic 2 is, on Xbox at least, it's a bit more of a mixed experience. It's still a really good game, but very famously, there's a lot of cut content from it, and it was rushed. It was rushed out.
Unfortunately,
on the PC version. And I would recommend, if you're going to play the second one, play the PC version, because there is the restored content mod, which puts all of that cut content back.
Yeah,
and it really fleshes out the game a lot more.
Definitely, I'll pick up both of them. Number one, I'll probably pick up pretty soon by what you've been saying because you've literally convinced me.
Yeah,
Number
I
two, I'd need to
suggest.
check what the
Well,
spec was.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I might have dropped a link to an eBay auction for £8 for a
I
complete
did see an eBay auction. I just clicked on it. $7.99, right?
$7.99 for a complete version. Looks in good
Yeah.
condition.
I suggest not stop playing. Because it's not. I would say you can still enjoy the game is so good. You can still enjoy it only for combat because you have a huge diversity on the combat as well. But it makes all the difference. The story,
Yeah.
it's like a Dungeons Dragons game, just
Yeah.
like Chris said. So it really makes something good or great be spectacular, and engage you to keep going and keep choosing your path and what
Which is
choice.
what I
I,
need.
I, I
That's what I need.
recommend, yeah, because I'm not sure if Xbox has the save state option, but I use that so much because I want to be the most evil as possible. So I just keep loading the state. No, I can be more evil than that. I can be evil, more evil, more evil. No, I can be more evil than that. Then I keep replaying, okay, just to make sure I was completely evil and I had my fun. And I gotta say, as a Star Wars fan, every time I see something being announced that remotes before the first episode, the old times, like there was some humor about don't remember now. I think James Gunn doing a first Jedi movie. Someone.
Taika Waititi. No, it wasn't.
Take away.
No,
Yeah.
it was
No. Someone.
David Benioff and
Yeah.
D.B. Weiss from Game of Thrones. That came out recently. That was what
Yeah.
their Star Wars film
Correct.
was going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're not doing Star Wars anymore after the end of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But that we could talk about that for hours as well.
Yeah, but I mean, every time I see some announcement about Star Wars doing something very, very, very back before the first movies, right?
Yeah.
I always thought, okay, is this gonna be like KOTOR, or is this gonna be as good as Knights of the Old Republic? Because Knights of the Old Republic is
Just
it's almost perfect.
adapt.
I'd say,
Just adapt Knights of the Old Republic.
Exactly.
Turn
I
that
always think
into
about
a
that.
movie or a TV show or something. Just do that.
Yes. And if they do, I'm gonna compare it. There's no deny. There's no way I can't compare. Is that really good as Knight of the Republic? Because it's that good, really.
It is. It is excellent. It is truly excellent. But we've gushed about Knights of the Old Republic for long enough. We are approaching the 3-hour mark.
Is that the beat Outrun or?
So, do you want to know where I would put this?
Yeah.
I just mean like the time we've talked about it.
I mean, we have talked about it probably maybe as long as Outrun or maybe longer. I would put this between Halo 2 and Halo.
Wow. Wow.
Between Halo 2 and Halo, I would put it no lower than after Halo.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know this was first launch on Xbox, so we have to consider that. And if we compare, both. Fable, it's vastly superior.
It's massively.
Fable,
Yeah.
I think.
As much as I love Fable, this is by far and away the better game.
Because also in the KOTOR, you can adjust your gameplay to be as much as action as possible as well. You don't, if you automate everything, so you just, okay, there's a combat, and then let it go. You can't set up everything, not as an proper action game, but it can be very action oriented if you set up as well. So just comparing Fable, but there are two different mechanics here. But yeah, I would say it's vastly superior and everything as Fable. Gotta admit that. Now, after Halo, yeah, I would be okay putting this after Halo 2. I would be okay.
Okay then.
I agree. It's that good. It's that good.
It is that good. There we have it.
Wow.
That is all 20 games ranked.
Job done.
We did it.
We did it.
Again.
Official. I mean, I'm not terribly surprised that Halo 2 is the top game.
Yeah. I have to give in for Halo, right? Halo is Xbox. Xbox is Halo.
It really is.
I'd say we've been quite fair, though.
I think we have.
Great.
Shall we have a look?
Actually, what's the Metacritic score for Star Wars?
94.
Wow, that says it all then, doesn't it?
There are... If I sort and filter this list, largest to smallest, yes, expand the selection. There are 2 games that have a higher score
Wow.
than Knights of the Old Republic on Metacritic. And you can probably guess which 2 they are.
Halo 2 and Halo 1?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'd say we said it in personal opinion anyway, didn't it? So I'd say we've been really fair there, to be honest.
I think we have. Okay.
Poor Quantum Redshift.
It's where... Quantum Redshift is higher than it deserves to be.
I mean, we give it up for you, Chris, on OutRun, so we had to give in to Chris as well.
I agree that we came to a compromise. I wanted D, Chris wanted B. C is the best compromise.
Yeah, that was. You couldn't have said fairer than that, really.
Cool. So that is that.
So there we go.
3 hours in. My recording is...
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be that long, but we really went on a couple of games.
I think we probably spoke for about 45 minutes, maybe combined on OutRun and Knights of the Old Republic. So cool. I think we've done well.
Yeah, it was fun.
Any closing remarks?
Not so much for the Xbox, apart from it's been a great few months. It's nice to see some focused content, and we had some really good posts across Instagram as well, didn't we? With what we've done with the 12 days of Xbox, it was really nice to see that. And obviously, you yourself, aren't you, Chris, are trying to still look out for them special editions and stuff. And
yeah, I am.
To say it's a console I definitely want to start looking at more. I do desperately need a good controller because I kind of have to hold the wire in a certain way while I'm playing to get it to work. So that's annoying. So I definitely want to sort that out. But just as regards general, I just wanted to say, obviously, we're now firmly planted in 2024. There is a little bit happening in the retro world. Obviously, I'm sure you all heard about it. That 13-year-old that broke Tetris. So I thought that was amazing to see.
I saw that. It's great.
Watched that whole video. I mean, how that is even humanly possible, but clearly it is. So, a big shout out for that. Well done to somebody who's actually achieved that. I don't know who you are, but, amazing feat. I don't think that should be underestimated, although some people have tried to say that and do that. Also, in other retro news, we've got the brand new Retro Games limited announcement that they are releasing an Atari 400 computer. and that's coming in. Was it March? I believe it was coming. I think it was March. It's coming out. So I may have pre-ordered one of them, but
Nice.
certainly not the one. Not the one I'm looking forward to the most from them coming up in the future. But it's a console I've never experienced. It was before my time. I'll probably never, ever, ever own an original Atari 400. So it's my chance of exploring that as well. So, there's a couple of things I'm definitely looking forward to in 2024 already. I believe Tomb Raider is also getting a new release. I don't know if you've heard of that. So
Yes, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 are getting a remastered release.
yeah, so there's definitely some things to look forward to already as well that, I can't wait for.
Yeah, there's a few things. So you mentioned an Xbox controller, that you're after an Xbox controller, actually. Later this month, I don't know if you're familiar with a company called Retrofighters.
No.
They do third-party controllers for retro consoles. They are releasing their Hunter controller, which is a wireless controller for the original Xbox.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The pre-orders of those sold out very quickly, so unfortunately, I do not have one pre-ordered. I am on the waiting list for any stock when that comes through. That's due out in the next couple of weeks, actually. So,
Because you can get an original wireless controller, can't you? Or wasn't there a company that released one not long afterwards?
There are no official wireless controllers for the original Xbox. Hyperkin did make a wireless version of the Big Duke controller to work with the Xbox One and the Xbox Series. So that is out. They have also recently announced that they're doing the same, but for the Xbox S controller, the original, the smaller version of the original Xbox controller. So we don't know when that's going to be out. I don't think we know when that's going to be out, but that has been announced in the last week or two.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, the other one you mentioned there. Because, I'd love a Duke, don't get me wrong, but they're also not cheap. But the one I've got, it's the clear one, obviously, crystal one to match the crystal console. I could very well just have picked up another one on eBay, a black one or something, but unless I changed the case over or something, I'd probably want it to be the crystal one because it'd annoy me. So I'll have to keep an eye on that, see what colour choices they come out with and stuff.
There's only two at the moment. There is a green one and a black one for the Retro Fighters Hunter.
Green, you say?
Yes.
Green would even tempt me more than black. Anything you're looking forward to, Ryder, or specifically focused on? As I say, I know you've just started Red Dead Redemption off, haven't you?
Yeah, just saving money now.
Yeah, January is the theme for that one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my exploited PS5. Red Dead Redemption 1, 6 FPS, 4K. It's amazing. And I hope Rockstar, by the things they leaked, right? Apparently, GTA 4 was scrapped as a remaster, something like that. Not entirely sure about the details. Probably was scrapped, but I hope GTA 4 received the same treatment as Red Dead Redemption received because it's amazing. It's amazing. GTA 4 is available for PC, and Red Dead Redemption not available for PC until now. So no, not available. It's not gonna be available for PC. I don't think it's gonna be developed for PC or ported. So maybe that's why they release this. Like it's like a remaster. Not a remaster. It's just like a ported maybe for PS4, right? And then you can play and can enhance this on the PS5 with the 60 FPS. So it's amazing. Maybe they did this because there's no PC version for Red Dead, but I do hope there's a GTA 4 complete edition and receive the same treatment. Yeah.
I first played Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation 3. That's when I first played it. It's an amazing game, as you say. We'll definitely have to probably do a separate podcast just on Red Dead Redemption, possibly, because I could talk about them all day long. And number two, I'm currently working through both, actually. That's a coincidence that we're both doing it at the same time. I've started off Red Dead Redemption 1 on the Switch for literally the third time as regards to the game. And Red Dead Redemption 2, I've just started off again on PS5, but I have completed it prior. But they're just so amazing. I can't, it's a game that just pulls me back so much.
Yeah, it's great.
So there you go. Before this turns into a Red Dead Redemption podcast,
Yes.
been a pleasure.
Yes, indeed.
Great result, some great nominations, and yeah, we'll definitely have to do more of these, and general podcasts as well, like we discussed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say congratulations, Retrogameden.
Thank you,
Chris. It was amazing and perfect as what the PS1 was. I look forward for the next one. If you want to do this,
I'll have a think about the next one.
Yes, please. Take your time because it's really well made. It's wonderful. We got to select the games. We participated on the 12 days of Xbox, and we do this podcast top tier. So much content, so much opportunity for content creation, not for Retroslice, but for the members as well, right? And I think that's the goal here, right? Do something and naturally do something that we enjoy, and naturally doing something for our channel, for our social media. The members can do the thing, participate everything we do, and they can create content for their channel, promote it on Retroslice, be a part of the community and participate, challenge podcasts and stuff. So I think we have a great year ahead of us, right? And I hope I can contribute more as well, do stuffs, and it's incredible. And I'm looking forward for the next one.
Yeah, totally agree. It's great to do these. Thanks for your work and effort on it, Chris.
Yeah, no worries.
And definitely will be looking forward to what comes next, not just from yourself, but from everybody as well.
Thanks everyone who participated as well, and
absolutely
gonna listen to this. Yes.
I just want to reiterate that. Thank you to everyone who nominated games, everyone who took part in 12 Days of Xbox on Instagram. I need to give special shout outs to, of course, both of you guys for taking part in that, but we also have Patient Gamers UK who took part and joined the community as a result, So Puff Gaming, the CIB kiosk demo, Gary Gill Gaming, Triple G, he took part, created some great reels, Toys Gone Wild also posted some great content there. So thank you to everyone who helped make that event and this podcast a success. So
I remember somebody else as well.
Did you?
Yeah, Joel's Retro.
Oh yes, Joel. Yes, Joel took part.
He done the outrun, didn't he, in the special edition Xbox?
Yes, he did. I really should have prepared a list.
That's all right. Just because I remember, because it was outrun pretty much.
Yeah.
But some great content, definitely. So yeah, big thanks to everybody, and thank you for taking part.
All right. Do you want to give a quick shout out to the community before we sign off?
Yeah, most definitely. So for anybody that has made it this far to the end and listened to us debate all this, thank you very much. And if you do want to join us, we are Retroslice Gaming, a Discord-focused retro gaming community. You can contact us at retroslicegaming@gmail.com. And also, we have an Instagram page which you can look us up on. And feel free to reach out for us on YouTube and comment about this podcast if you enjoyed it. Or if you're a member and you're listening, let us know why you chose those games and what made them special to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd really love to know people's thoughts on the choices and how they ended up in the rankings. So that'd be really good to hear some feedback.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much to the both of you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll have a little private chat afterwards. But as regards to podcast, until next time, I say.
Thank you both for joining us this evening, and thank you everyone for listening at home. Until next time. See you
Bye.
See
later.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.